Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where I will ramble on for probably the next 3 hours because, well, due to people in the community, we kind of got a second topic which we'll hit before we get into the news. And that might be a lot of the complaining about the HasLab. You know, other than complaining, sometimes you could just not do anything. You could just not back it. But we're going to talk about that. I know, oxymoron. Hey, you're bitching about people bitching about something, and technically you are correct. But we're going to talk about it. It's my show. I can do whatever the hell I want, right? Anyway, thank you guys all for joining me. I hope everyone's Monday kicked off nicely. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. It was nice to, sit back and relax. I did some yard work, and then I think it rained, and then my son's birthday is actually tomorrow, so we went out to eat somewhere that he wanted to go. It wasn't the greatest place, but hey, you know what? It's what he wanted to do, so we went there, and it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst. But anyway, but you guys all had a wonderful, like I said, a whole wonderful weekend. Thank you to 3-Star Draw Darren, who did a show on Friday night. I'm going to attempt to do a Punk's Pit for the channel members this Friday. So if you want to be part of one, if you're waiting, you joined, maybe you're like, hey, what the hell do I get other than all these classic review videos months and months and months ahead of time? We're going to do a Punk's Pit, just in case you're wondering what that is. It's basically just anyone that is a member. We just kind of do panels and we talk, and we don't just really talk toys. We pretty much talk anything, and we go, I don't know, usually 5, maybe longer, 5-6 hours. Usually start about 10, and it will usually end about 3 a.m. So if you guys are interested, make sure you stop by. I'll schedule everything in a little bit. Well, not right now, because honestly, I'm kind of busy right now. So anyway, so let me say thank you quickly to Talib for his Thursday with a friend, and again, another even a bigger thank you, because he was willing to swap his Thursdays because Andrew from Gady's Toys had something that came up, and he wasn't, he just didn't even realize it. No big deal. Again, I appreciate him reaching out to me. So Andrew from Gady's Toys will be my guest this week on Thursday with a friend. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. As I've talked to Andrew a few times, like on the Clubhouse and stuff, and I've seen him on mostly with Allison and stuff. So it'll be interesting to sit there and get to know him and talk to him a little bit. So make sure you guys all tune in for that. Let's be honest, I do amazing Thursday work. I know most of you don't think that. Okay, quickly, we're going to be plugging this a lot. I know a lot of you guys are already there, but you know what? We got to plug them a little bit more because this week on Hella Dope Toys, they kicked off their road to 1,000. They are, let's see here, 162 away. So I want you guys all to head over there if you're not. Again, Ted is who gave us Moss Man, and I know everyone but Tony, because Tony hates life, loves Moss Man. So head on over if you're not a member at Hella Dope Toys. Yes, they are a toy store, but at this point they're like, hey, you know what? We want to get to 1,000. We've been doing this forever. It seems like they were looking at it. They said 2 years ago we were on a road to 500. But they're not YouTubers. They're a toy store, but they're doing their best to get over that 1,000 mark where everyone wants to get, right? And Ostradamus says Tony hates diversity. Yes, he does. It's really weird that a Mexican hates diversity, but he does. So anyway, and then let's see here. Let's say hi to the chat really quick. There's 44 people watching right now. So if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It goes so far. That's how YouTube knows that people are actually watching it. So let's start here. We got Roll Keeper as the first in here. We got Same Time Toys. We got Men Who's here. MTC is joining us. US Combat Dojo. We got Matthew Matson, and he's jumped in twice because what Matthew wants is we have Cobra Emperor. That's as far as I'm going. You need to change that name and make it a little bit shorter. We got Astro Thomas Toys. Plastic Fantastic. I just want to say to you, I have got a bunch of people asking about that barbed wire and that fence set. That I finally got around to doing it. You're probably gonna have to send Tony an extra set because I need his set because there's no, that set is awesome. And I like taking pictures through the fence, and seriously, you knocked it out of the park once again, as you always do. GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. We have SES Dog. Evil Dookie is here. Whoo! Woody 222, the figure addict. You know what Woody gets? Woody gets where the hell is that? Woody and Same Time Toys, they have been kicking ass with their Smoking Joes, which is a complete oxymoron for anything that I would do, as I'd be straight edge Joes. But it's funny how people can have different opinions of things, do different things, and still like each other and get along. Crazy fucking concept there. That is. Snow Wolf is here. We have Johnny Reno, who I always got to give a big thank you to for all the retro or all the classic stuff that he's been sending me. All these O-ring stuff, he's helped me out so much. And Johnny, I literally was going through the book in all the series, and let me just tell you, all that stuff you sent me is stuff that was well after my time, so I appreciate it. 3-star draws here. Punk and y'all. We got Todd C. Whew. Joe Fan 84. We have Model Misfit, Son of a Crayon Slayer, Machine Man. We have Sabir, Nolan, which now makes us ToyTube official. I don't know who started that, but I love it. I also love when like bigger channels don't get Nolan in and they don't even realize they're not even ToyTube official. That must suck. Wolverine Ortez. Woo. Let's see here. Is there anyone? Oh, there's Turk Murphy's Toy Solution. And I know there's got to be a few more. And I was about to say, did I say Roll Keeper? But he was number 1. We have Tripwire 788. I almost said 768. It's towards the end of the night. My eyes are starting to get tired. Evil Dookie says, Punk, you should change the into the bitching for this episode. Well, I don't want to get demonetized right at the beginning, though. I don't know how much. You don't make much money off live streams, but Russell Lemieux has joined us. We have Shark Eyes. That's one of the sharks that we actually like. We have my other moderator, Action Fig, saying, "Old intro song. I guess we're planning and not being monetized for this one." No, I still get monetized. They do like this split monetization, but lately they haven't done anything. So every now and then I do it because I don't know. The worst thing that happens is I got to cut it off and it gets rid of the chat. And let's be honest, after a live stream is done, the only person that looks in the chat is Matthew. Viper Scout, who was looking pretty rough on Friday night, but you know what? We all look pretty rough after a hard day of work, right? MTC is here. Um, let's see here. I think that's about everyone. That's oh no, you know what? We got. Dude, I cannot. Dude, I cannot look at this and not see Trust the Screamer, even though I know it says True Star Screamer. Evening all had an awesome weekend seeing Superman with my daughter. I want to tell you, honest to God, like when I see your Facebook page, I just love when I see like you're always taking pictures, with your daughter, and like that, like when you do it with your family, you really realize someone's important, like what they feel is important in their life. And dude, seriously, I love it. Like it's awesome. So not that you needed my acceptance for that, but I just want to let you know I think it's fucking badass. Rad Toys Galaxy jumping in here. Oh, we got plastic skulls, and we have anyone else? Anyone else? There are so many that have jumped in here. Checkpoint Alpha J Astro. Let's see here. Oh, look, there I am again. Hella Dope Toys. If you have not subscribed, please head on over there and do so. They're on their way to 1,000, and there's no reason why they can't get there very soon, right? David R is here. I think that's about everyone right now. So, hey, look, I actually made it to the end. I think I said any of your name. Oh, look at this. TD3 Trooper. I don't know if I said that right. Where's G.I. Jetman? Did I miss? I totally missed G.I. Jetman, so I didn't hit everyone. I was not ignoring you, G.I. Jetman, like my moderator Matthew Matson would. I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't do that to people unless your name is Cobra Emperor. Then I do it to you. Okay. I've told you guys 100 times I'm a dick. I don't hide it. So anyway, this week, if you were watching, I dropped the classic videos, or at least, last week, shall I say. Matthew says, I don't ignore people. I don't even know if you do. I really don't know if you do or not. So last week, the classic reviews that I did, I dropped the Snow Serpent, the Eels, and the Night Landing. I want to say the Night Raven was not the Night Landing. If you again, I've mentioned this before. If you don't pay attention, when I do the figure in the vehicle, I try and do something. If it's not a vehicle and a figure combo, I try and make it so it's something that would go well together. This week here, we got Snake Eyes version 2 with Timber, and then Toll Booth. Everyone loves Toll Booth. Everyone's like, we need Toll Booth on Unclassified. We don't. And the Bridge Layer. So I had fun doing that. I don't even know if anyone's seen that yet because Super Toy Enablers, they can see that video, and I kind of spliced a short that I had done that utilized that. So, and then today I got the Legacy Firefighter. He's not really armed up right now. This is a really good figure. I just messed around with him a little bit. He looks really nice for one thing. He's utilizing Snow Job's outfit. I don't know why I'm doing this. Now I'm like, like with electrolytes. I believe he utilizes most of Snow Jobs, and who else? Is it Mole Rat? Their outfit, but it is a really good looking figure. Getting this in hand and just looking at him, it's one of those things now. It's like I really want the police officer, and I want more of these. they just work so well. And I also want to mention, like, to the people that don't want these, and if you don't want them, that's fine. I don't care. But people that say they're not GI Joe, honest to God, dude, you need to stop saying GI Joe is only real American hero, because it's not. That's a huge part of it. It is my GI Joe, but there is other things that GI Joe was. Hell, GI Joe wasn't a real American hero to begin with, but firefighters and police officers and stuff like those, that's all part of the line. And that figure is really good. Now, I just did the review right when I got home. I was waiting for it. Kind of had everything lined up. I wasn't expecting to. I don't say I wasn't expecting to like it. I wasn't expecting to, when I visually saw it, feel that it looked so good. It looks like a firefighter, which I know it's supposed to, but that stuff doesn't always translate. So, but it is a wonderful, wonderful figure. I just want to say that. And quickly, let's see here. I had Cobra Commander jumped in here, and then we had Skunk Works jumping in here. If you're not checking out his stuff, please check out his stuff. He flocks anything he wants. And then we have Tech 489. All right. I had to scroll all the way back. Good, man, you guys. I gotta tell you what, man. I look at the chats at the end of the night or the next day. Man, you guys are awesome. Oh, look, Tony's fixed. I talk to this guy so much that I sometimes forget he's even in here. The other thing that I got, I did not do a review. I actually might do a review on this, and that is this guy right here. And this is that Professor Xavier that has been sitting on the shelves or sitting on the pegs at Target forever. They're finally going on clearance. I picked them up after my jury duty. He was like $17.50 on clearance. This figure is awesome. Now, as you can see, he does not come like this. This is a mixed match of other stuff, Top Fun Toys, and then stuff from Model Misfit or Loki. I don't know what I'm trying to. But now his face is fucking awful. Like, the sculpt is really good. The paint is awful. But the figure in general, I mean, first off, he has that military vibe right off the bat. All right. Like, the look of him, very, very military. But he moves extremely smooth. Like, all the joints pop in and out. He has trigger fingers, which is, you don't really think of. He does come with cerebral. So I know a lot of people have one of these wheelchairs and they use that. I want to get another one because I don't want him to be in the wheelchair. I want him to be just a regular buck. It is a really good buck. So if you can find one cheap, grab it. I think you're going to be really happy with it. And in all honesty, all you got to do is take the X's off them if that really bothers you. But seriously, a really good figure. Super, super happy with that, to be 100% honest. But yeah, Skunkworks says, put a couple AT patches over those X's. You know what? I got the stuff that I can just take it off if I want to. But I bought them because I actually wanted the Xavier. And then I was just like, well, I actually put that hat and everything on him before I put Cerebral on him. Because I'm just looking at, like, he moves very smooth. He's a great army builder if you wanted to use an army builder. What sucks is that the G.I. Joes have different size head pegs, or else you would have been able to use all kinds of stuff. So it kind of sucks. And I didn't steal the walls. I just haven't shipped them out, but you might need to send him his own set because Cobra, I don't buy Valiver stuff, so I know they have a lot of stuff, but there's other people that sell stuff that I will buy before their stuff. But yeah, people are more than welcome to buy whatever they want, right? All right. I want to get into a few things. So first off, I want to mention the Instagram pics. If you haven't been paying attention, I've been dropping Instagram pics at 10 a.m. every morning. I really, really enjoy taking pictures. I never thought when I was, started doing any of this that photography would be something that I enjoy doing, or at least trying to get into doing. I like posing the figures, I like doing the reviews, but I now, and I mentioned this numerous times, I now look at stuff and I now look at little things of like, hey, that would be awesome for this one picture that I want to do. I think Matthew and Ed and those guys have been looking at it like that for years. I'm like, I'm there now, and it absolutely sucks. And you know what? It's gonna eat into the pocket, but it's a lot of fun to do. So I've been enjoying it, and I you can just you post them, and they go up at 10 a.m. I said this to Matthew because well, I said it to my mods because Matthew pointed this out. Again, you guys can like what you like, and I can understand that I drop a Marvel Legends video. A lot of people aren't going to watch it because, hey, they're on my channel for G.I. Joe. I am blown away by, unless if I post a G.I. Joe picture, like people won't like it. Like, dude, you don't have to like all superheroes to be like, hey, those pictures are actually pretty cool. And again, you only like what you like, but I'm blown away by how many people feel like that. Like when they don't hit it, I'm just like, I thought the Rogue one that I did, and if you look at the Rogue one and the fighting Maximum Hulk, like I don't use any stands, so I literally have him holding her by her leg so I could take the picture. And it's like, boom! It was like a big thud. But anyway, like what you like. I think it's funny. But I just continue to push them out there. So watch out for them. If you like the pictures, hell, you know what? Hit the little heart. If you don't like them, don't like them. I just find it funny how like people won't like something unless it's G.I. Joe. Like I really do other things besides G.I. Joe. I promise you. Mr. Wonderful jumping in here saying, hello, ladies. He's talking to himself again. All right. So let me say it one more time. Let me post the link because I know there's more people, 72 people watching right now. Hello Dope Toys is on their way to 1,000. They're trying to get to 1,000 subs. Once again, everyone loves Moss Man except for that guy Tony who hates Moss Man. I don't know how. I don't know how he can hate Moss Man, but he does. He just hates the world and everything. So please, if you're not subscribed to Hello Dope Toys, and I really do think most of you probably are, head on over there and just hit the like, hit subscribe, so they can get to 1,000 and they can do what so many of us are doing and just make a little bit of money off their monetization. All right. We're gonna hit the topic number 1, which, oh well, actually, hold on. Not technically. I was actually going to show off. Yeah, that I mentioned this here. So yeah, this is the firefighter. The accessories are really cool. And Ed, thank you very much for mentioning about these things. Just because these backdrops are awesome. From what is their name again? Figures sold separately. They're awesome. So but yeah, so I did these, a couple of these pictures here, just so I could do like little promos that I can push out there after that. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is this HasLab. Now I'm just gonna I was actually gonna leave this guy's name on, but I decided I was gonna cut it out. Now this guy I believe posted in numerous Facebook groups. Again, another person that is super mad about the HasLab, and that's fine. Again, if you don't like something, I don't expect anyone to buy something that you don't like, and I definitely don't expect anyone to. It's not our job to keep the line alive if they're pushing out stuff we don't like. The way you tell people that you don't like it is by not by not supporting it. Um, so anyway, this guy here, we're just gonna call him Diego Testicles. So Diego Testicles, he posted this, and again, you are allowed to like whatever you like. All right. Action figure addict jumping in here. What's up? Um, but I have a problem when you start off. You say you're calling for a boycott, HasLab Snowcat. Fellow G.I. Joe classified fans, it's time to stand together and say no. And your first point is a fucking lie. Hasbro promised the Snowcat would be a regular retail release. All right, first off, you're a lying piece of shit. Diego Testicles. They didn't say that. What many of you tend to have misremembered hearing was that San Diego Comic-Con last year, somebody, while they were standing in front of the booth, asked them about the Snowcat. They asked about the Snowcat. They asked about the Thunder Machine, and they said, "Well, I don't." Or Lenny said, "I don't think that it has to be a HasLab." Did not say that it wouldn't be a HasLab. Didn't say we're going to do this in a regular retail release. They never said that. So this is you either just fucking lying or you wanting to get something and want to make your fucking point. Now this got removed, but the cool thing about the internet, it's called fucking ink, and someone always has a screenshot of it. It says they broke their promises, turning it into a HasLab project. Okay, well, once again, they didn't, because they didn't say that. That goes back to your first lie, which you started off the whole premise of everything. This is not the vehicle the community asked for. I don't have a problem with it. We need a Joe tank like the Mobat to match the Hiss tank, not a mid-tier snow vehicle. Okay, you can say that you want a Mobat all you want. Again, a one-seater. Good job on that one. And if you really need a tank that bad, well, then you can go over to Ramen Toys and get one. He's selling them. You'll have it before a HasLab would have come out. Well, I hope so, at least, right? So once again, the whole community did not ask for this. There's at least 7,000 people that haven't asked for this. But we also know what you're doing is you're trying to get people to not back it. So, and then the price is outrageous for what we're getting. Small vehicle, simple build, massive markup. Once again, I will reiterate that the majority of these G.I. Joe fans are just that. G.I. Joe fans. They're not toy fans. They don't understand the industry. You can say whatever you want. All right. This is not just a mid-size small vehicle. A lot of people like it. I've said before, I think it's a risk doing a snow vehicle because I don't know how many people not in snow want it. But the fact of the matter is, people do want this. It's not a simple build like you think that it is when you put the electronics into it, and the massive markup. You know what corporations like to do? I'm gonna let everyone in on a secret. Corporations, they like to make money. That's how they become giant billion dollar companies, by marking stuff up and making money. Believe it or not, when you or anyone says they don't care about you, you're goddamn right they don't. Just like politicians don't. Cobra Commander is saying, Punk, are you saying you don't agree with him? No, I don't agree with him. I don't agree at all, because this was a flat out lie. So how can I agree with something that was a lie? So, and I don't think that the whole community asked for a Mobat or a Mauler. That is something that people have decided that they wanted. Okay, so he says, let's be clear. This isn't about the Snowcat. It sure sounds like it is. It's about trust, value, and respect. Once again, going back to your first lie. All right, so Testicles, I'm sorry, you're going back to your first lie. So your whole premise is completely off. All right. Hasbro is testing how far they can push us. Well, that I can agree with. That's what they've been doing from day one with the HasLabs. They want to see how far they can push it. I don't think that's like anything shocking. Is anyone else like, holy shit, it just blew my mind? Hasbro wants to see how far they can push it. Once again, they saw how far. Do you realize that in this one, they didn't give you fucking patches because they knew people were pissed off about it? All right. Final Drive says Hasbro had to scrap the 2025 Mobat in favor of the Snowcat after seeing the tanks from Ramen. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a specific. Now, I do think that it makes it harder, but you realize most of these people have no clue what ramen is. All right, there are toy collectors. There are GI Joe collectors. Okay, a lot of them don't ever pay attention to what else is going on, or they don't care. And I understand your premise of what you're saying, but it's the same with like Valiverse. There are so many people in the GI Joe community that don't care, and Ramen Toys is probably going to make close to, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 tanks. A HasLab is going to fund at 8,000. So the ramen tank really, I think, has very little to do with it. It may have made them go back and look and say, hey, what can we do more? If that's what they wanted to do. But these things are in development for a year. Alice and Troy jumping in here saying, if you want to boycott it, don't fund it. Isn't that the best way to boycott it? You're absolutely correct. Hurricane Live jumping in here. I just want $300 of patches. That's like 1,000 patches. Okay. Then he says, if we fund this, we send the message that anything goes. All right, that's so not true. But if you don't want it and you don't think that it's worth your money, then don't back it. Don't buy it. It is truly that simple, right? Like, hey, I don't really like this. Awesome. You like it, go and back it. People actively trying to get people not to, this is exactly what the 3POA and Bobby Vela did to the Hell Charger. They gaslit people into not wanting to admit they wanted it. So now I'm not saying that's a good. I'm not saying that was a good offering. I'm not saying that was a good price. I'm just saying when people start bagging on other people, a lot of people don't have the fucking balls to stand up and be like, hey, you know what? I like it. I'm still going to fucking back it. We watch big time YouTubers who are all about it fucking back away from it. That's what people are trying to do here. And that's fine. I mean, do whatever you fucking want. He says, don't back it. Don't promote it. Don't reward corporate spin. Now, I don't know what corporate spin means. Again, I like this. I want it. I think it's a pretty damn good offering. So I'm going to back it. And that means if I spend $350 and I don't get all the tiers, then I don't get all the tiers. Because when I look at it, I'm fine with $325 for a vehicle and the figure. And I will talk about that later on. Another company that's doing something like that. Okay. So anyway, as you get on, he says, let's demand better, a real flagship vehicle worthy of HasLab. Again, everybody wants something, but are they really willing to pay or find the room for it? That's a whole nother thing. And what is a dream project, right? What is a dream project? So it says, share this post, speak out, let your wallet do the talking. I'm letting my wallet do the talking, and it's something I'm willing to back. And I'm sharing it. And I am saying what I think about it. And I think that your premise, which you start off with a lie, ruins anything else that you have to say. Again, if you don't like something, that's fine. And I don't even have a problem people talking about, hey, you know what? It's the way people are going about it. And we're seeing it over and over and over. And we've seen it with other backings of HasLabs, right? And other things. We're seeing people pissed off about the Super 7 tank, right? the Thunder Tank. We'll see it again in a minute. So, uh, Edward Stemanowski saying, when did Hasbro make G.I. Joe fans the CEO of the community? And I think Hasbro has been giving us some really amazing G.I. Joe stuff. Most people would agree with you, and, once again, like, it's easy. Like, the way everything that he's saying, you don't back it. And if it doesn't fund, then it doesn't fund. Now, if you're just there to send a message, the message that you're sending to Hasbro is, hey, we don't really give a fuck about G.I. Joe anymore. That's how corporate looks at it. Once again, I'm not telling you to back something that you don't think it's worth, but telling other people and trying to gaslight other people into having your opinion, that's the same as me gaslighting people into saying, you know what, you need to fucking back this, or G.I. Joe's not going to fucking survive. I think it's great, and you should think it's great too. It doesn't work like that. Right? It doesn't work like that. Not everyone wants it. Look, Tony's Figs here. He says, no one likes the Loyal Subjects Max stuff. I bought the bundle. I want that shit. Okay, no one said they didn't like it. People just aren't happy with, they think that the price is too much. Cobra Emperor says, $200 vehicle, and then the extras must be included to be worth it. I disagree. I don't think the extras need to be. There's a lot of stuff that's already added to it. But if you don't, again, hearing people complain about the kitchenette, they call it. Hey, I took pictures, and you know what Mezco that Junkman Joe came with? He comes with like cigarettes. He comes with a candy bar. He comes with a coffee mug and a cantina, like a canteen. Sorry, they're called accessories. And people that do photography and people that like stuff, they like that stuff, and they can just slide it in if you don't like it. A matter of fact, I believe it was Woody at Smoking Joe's that said, hey, I don't really give a shit about that, but you know what's cool? I can just slide it in and no one sees it. Shark Guy says there's nothing funnier than a protest or an attempt to boycott something in a Facebook group that for a niche collecting community. Only thing missing here were some hashtags. Very true. We got Conquest Productions jumping in here saying hello. We got Debo DNA saying, what's up, ball? So, and I'm just using this one guy as an example. And really, the reason why it pissed me off is because he lied. And we've seen this lie going around over and over and over about how, like, they've told us that this would be a mainline release. They said this wasn't going to be a HasLab. No, they've never said that. Once again, you either believed what guys like Viper Island fucking tell you, or you want something. So, hey, you know what? I'll gaslight it. People won't do their research, but then other people like myself will, who unfortunately for you have a much bigger platform than you on your fucking Facebook group. All right. That people are going to see this and they're going to fucking hear it. And you either deleted that or the admins deleted it because they didn't want to fucking put up with it. Woody 222 says this post is such a desperate attempt for attention. It's crazy. Man, Woody, you're not on Facebook. You cannot scroll through a G.I. Joe. And I've been saying this for how long, right? You can't scroll through it and not just be just inundated with stuff, right? So Skunkwork says, I wish Hasbro would make some Joe figs I'm interested in, but I don't let it ruin my day. That's called being an adult. Wow. Yes, it is. We need more adulting in the toy community. Damn. I agree with you. And I know a lot of people might say, hey, you know what? You're not acting like an adult showing this and calling him, Tiago Testicles. Possibly, but it kind of looked like Tiago Testicles when you looked at his name. Corey Fluid saying, is Viper Island, he is still around, and I will say this, I will watch it from time to time because it is now so amusing because he's so fucking smug. He doesn't even show his face anymore, but he's so smug, and throughout his videos, he talks about he doesn't need to insult people and put other people down like all these other channels. And then throughout the whole video, he puts people down. I don't know if he does it on purpose or he's just so stupid that he doesn't realize what he's doing. Um, but it's very comical, and it's also amazing to hear some of the lies that he talks about too. Sometimes you have to just kind of watch the lies, and then when someone says, "Hey, so and so said," you go, "That's a lie. You need to go here and check it out." I don't expect everyone to be as deep into the community as myself and many of you guys are, but there are some of us that will go ahead and like we'll point out like, hey, this is what was said. I'm telling you right now, if you can go find, and I don't remember who it was, but it was at San Diego Comic-Con. That's what was brought up, and that's what people heard when Lenny said, "I don't think that it needs to be a HasLab." That's what was said. Woo! Krusty Old Crow jumping in here saying, hey, just came back from Superman, and you came into me yelling. I'm not even mad right now. Cobra, I love Cobranomic's name. It's a sweet name. Like I can just see the Extensive Enterprise, the Crimson Twins, Amon Tomac sitting there across from Cobra Commander, coming up with name after name and logo, and he says Cobranomics. That's perfect. But the fact is, when you go on Facebook now, we are inundated with this bullshit. And again, I'm not telling anyone, hey, you need to fund this. If you don't fund this, it sends a message to Hasbro that you don't give a shit about G.I. Joe. I mean, I do believe that if it doesn't fund, it does send a message to Hasbro because they really do look at things like that. But I have a problem when you've decided what you think I should do with my money and you're trying to dictate everything. God, that sounds like a specific political group. Anyway, that's all for politics today. But sorry, it was there. It was there. It was like fucking grooved right down. I just fucking knocked the fucking home run out there. Anyway, no, it's one of those things where again, you speak with your money. And if you don't think something is, but how many times have I told you, if you think $25 for an action figure isn't worth it, then who am I to question how you spend your money? You work hard for it, right? So, I don't tell you how to spend your money. I will debate on the worth of things because, when you look at how things have gone in price, and I'm not talking about just toys, I'm talking about everything. It's something that, hey, they're always prices are going up. It's not the 1980s anymore. Things are more detailed. Things cost more. It costs more to just in general run a company, but no one wants to think about that. So, and again, if you think 325 is too much for a HasLab, then who am I to question? If you think, hey, you know what? I don't really like the Snowcat. I don't think that it's worthy of it. Awesome. You don't have to. You can step away, not buy it. But the fact that so many people are trying to do this is where you're just like, man, if you're going to come back, if you're going to come with this, you better not have a bunch of fucking lies in there. And unfortunately, Tiago Testicles, he had a whole bunch of lies starting with number 1. But don't go look for it because it's been removed. And I did see quickly where is it war chest full of toys jumping in here. Hurricane Live says, I remember it was like pulling teeth with my parents for a $2.99 Joe back then. Yeah, exactly. And for me, I hope it just hits over 14,000 because I'm gonna buy an extra one and I'm gonna sell the stuff. Because guess what? People are gonna get these in hand, just like they did with the Hiss, just like they did with the Dragonfly, and just like what's happening with the Rattler. And people are gonna overpay for them because now when you see it, people are gonna want it. And if there's less of them, great. That means that demand is gonna be higher. Or hey, you know what? I buy an extra one and I get fucked. Hey, that kind of goes into my whole the whole topic at the end of the show about do you guys really even give a shit about how we spend our money and if we get fucked over? You don't. I can tell you that right now. Woo! Anyway, Tripwire says, well, Hasbro lies to us sometimes, so it's only fair, eh? Well, listen, all companies, all corporations lie to us. Dude, I'm not going to deny that. All right? That's a whole topic for a whole other story. Uh Corey Flood says $25 is too much for a figure. However, if you steal it, that will let Hasbro know there is a demand. I'm trying to find a way to dispute what you said, but but you're technically not wrong. So thank you for that laugh. All right. So 99 people watching right now. So we're going to do it once again. If you haven't yet, please head on over to Hello Dope Toys. I'm going to drop this link one more time until we get into it. 100 people watching right now. Head on over there if you haven't. Subscribe to them. Road to 1,000. It is hard. Believe me, I remember so long ago trying to get to 1,000. It literally seemed like it was yesterday that I was sitting in the car with my daughter going, look how close we are. Look how close. I don't say we. I say, look how close I am, right? Because I'm all about me. So, all right. Quickly, tomorrow is a big day for all of you, where you don't have to do shit at 6:30 to Wednesday in the morning. And what I mean by that is at 6:30 p.m., you know that we start Circle of Jerks. It's myself, Baldy Fox Reviews, Action Media, Terry, Spec Toy Optics, and Tony's Figs. I hate fucking Moss, man. We do the Circle of Jerks. That's where we kick it off. We finish up somewhere around between 8 and 8:30, more like 8:15, 8:30. At 9 p.m., at 9-ish p.m., one moderator. That would be Ed and Travis, not fucking Moody. They go on and do their show, the Toilet Takeover. And then at 10 p.m., a pop culture show, which they still talk about a lot of toys, because Pop Blender and my other moderator, Matthew Matson, they kick off their show. So there's no reason to leave. 6:30, you get home from work, you tell your kids, hey, fucking fend for yourself. You know how to make a TV dinner. I'm going to watch the Circle of Jerks. Now, after the Circle of Jerks, you got some time, especially because Travis can't ever get there on fucking time. So since Travis can't get there on time, Ed usually doesn't start to about 9:15 anyway. So you got about 45 minutes to see your kids, high five them, say, hey, what are you watching? Ignore them. You know how that all goes. And then 10 p.m., you kick it off, and you're going to sit there and you're going to watch the Evening Blend. And Matthew is saying, yep, join us on the Evening Blend, 7:15, 25, and watch us fight about Superman. See, this might actually be pretty good. Because if you guys are going to fight about Superman, are you going to tell me one thinks it's good and one thinks it's bad? But yeah. So, and Triple D's Dungeon jumping in saying, hell, I can't wait to get 50 subs. Hey, it happens, man. Listen, we all started off somewhere, not having a whole bunch. So, Todd C says, I like how people who don't even collect classified crawl out from under the bridge to trash talk the HasLab. Happens every time. Yes. The same with the people that had no intention of backing the Engine of Vengeance. Now, again, I have no problem with somebody speaking their mind. The Engine of Vengeance was $350. Came right after the Hiss. And we could all see that the Hiss had more value to it. I think that it was overpriced. But if you wanted it, people should not have tried to make you feel less than. We watched big time YouTubers back away because they didn't want people attacking them, because that's exactly what was happening. Now, I don't have respect for that. I mean, I have respect when someone says, you know what? I think that's overpriced and I'm not going to pay for it. Awesome. But if it's something that you like, I don't have respect when you've let people back you into a corner. Now, it's okay to change your mind. I want to say that. It's okay that, hey, you know what? If you sat back, you you reassessed everything and you go, you know what? Upon second opinion, looking at everything, I don't think that the value is there. But I don't think that's what really happened. And that's what's happening now. Let's be honest. They're 1,000 away from it hitting its main tier. It's gonna fund because there's always that big jump at the end. I really don't have a fear that it's not gonna hit all 14, hit 14,000. But they are making people sweat. But all you're doing is sending a message to Hasbro that, you know what, we're kind of done with the vehicles with classified. Hi, it's me jumping in and saying, I don't think the kids know what a TV dinner is. We had to pop that in the oven. Well, you can't put metal trays in the microwave. But they do have Stofers and they have lean cuisines. I know because I buy the stuff. Same time toys, and don't buy your subs or Punk will make fun of you. Hey, dude, I'm sorry. Sometimes I scare people away in other chats. I wasn't trying to, but I could see in the Hella Dope Toys chat the people that went away that don't like me. Sorry, but not sorry. Clint Jorgensen jumping here saying, "This is what Motu fans did with Snake Layer. It was too bad in my opinion." I don't know what you mean. If it was too bad, like it was a bad offering, or too bad that they screwed you up. But that's exactly what Motu fans did in the community when it came to that. And I remember that. And some of them were very proud that they did that, right? Again, like, yes and no. There were people that wanted that. They said they were going to give this. And those people, unfortunately, got screwed out of it. We got a Toy Kind of Mood jumping in here saying, "What's up, Krusty, Shark Guys, Nolan, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, I need to say that. I usually just say hi to people. I thought he was actually had something interesting to say. So anyway, as for the sponsors, as we all know, Hella Dope Toys. I kind of mentioned them a couple of times. Go over there, give them a like. We still got the Amazon affiliate links. All you have to do is click on one of my links whenever you order something. It helps support the channel. That's why I don't need you to send super chats or become channel members or anything like that. Just help support the channel, which then I can, when I have to buy new things, we can buy new things. There is still that Entertainment Earth that no one uses, because I swear to God, that company does not want to sell anything. So Clint Jorgensen says, I mean, I wanted the Snake Layer, and it's too bad it never went up for okay. And I'm with you 100%. And there were people that were very, very, very proud that they got that taken down. And that, I don't agree with that at all. Again, you send, you send your message by not purchasing the things that you don't think are worth it. But the way they went about it, I disagree with it, because a lot of people liked it, like you just said. So, let's see. Conquest Production saying, if you could have any Joe vehicle unclassified, what would it be and why? I honestly think right now it would be the Whale. It would be expensive, but it would be the true centerpiece. Like, I'm like, again, what is a dream project? It's the lights, it's the kitchenette and everything like that. But I think when you're looking at the size, and I've seen the 3D printed ones, they're absolutely huge and massive. But that would be a display. You're going to pose figures in it. It's going to open up. That, to me, that's what HasLab I would love to see. Not Rachel jumping in and saying, I still think of HasLabs as dream projects. That's Hasbro's own selling point. The Snowcat, in my opinion, just doesn't rise to the level of dream and that is your opinion. All right. But nowhere in Facebook do I go on and I see Not Rachel. I'm like, hey, who the fuck is this Not Rachel? Fucking putting long posts and then going from group to group to group to group. That's all that I'm saying. Stephanie Cormorant in here. I'm still on the fence about Fright Zone. And that's perfectly fine. That again, that is perfectly fine. Tech 49 says a USS flag the size of your. I think it'd be bigger than a car. I really do. And Darren says the hydrofoil, except he's wrong because what would if there's no hovercraft, there's nothing to fight the hydrofoil. I'm just saying. Woo! All right. And Hurricane says, I think a Night Raven would be tight. It'd be tight to fit in your house because it'd be so goddamn big. And Tripwire says, I think Punk wants a snowcat just for the kitchenette. He mentioned it like 10 times on this. Dude, I don't care what you say. And I've heard other people that do photography say the same thing. The kitchenette is, I think, again, no one was not going to buy it because of that. Like, no one was going to buy it because of that, I guess is the right way to say it. But it adds to it. Just in my opinion. It adds to it. That's just me. Anyway, let's get to a little bit of toy news as I have been going on and on and on. And who is this? Mark Harkness jumping in here. Says the flag in classified scale, not compared to the 1985 toy, but the real CVN 90 feet. And again, you're right. You can't do it in the full scale. I understand that. But it also has to be bigger in scale than what the Real American Hero one was, just because these figures are just physically so much bigger. That's another thing a lot of people don't understand. Not to mention, there would be like 100 of them backed. Very few people actually have the room for it or have the money to get it. I'm just saying. Richard Burns jumping in here saying, I would just like to have a simple stuff like Water Moccasin and Wolverine. I think a lot of that's going to come. And Dustin Jeffrey saying, my dream would be the Rattler actually showing up. Me too, Dustin Jeffrey. Did I say whatever? Dustin Jeffrey. Yeah, that's kind of my dream too. It looks at wrestling a pool table size. No, a pool table is going to be the size of a Terradrome. That's what the dreams. That's what a pool table is going to be. All right. A little Masters of the Universe jumping in here. All right. So this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And this is more Turtles of Grayskull. Again, more rumors that, hey, Turtles of Grayskull are done. You remember how long ago that we heard that Mode 2 is dead? Seems like a long time ago. Anyway, this is the packaging, and I think this packaging is really, really awesome, right? I have to say, I'm so glad that I'm out of Masters of the Universe, just because like this is the type of stuff that makes you want it. So, but here's Turtles of Grayskull. I mean, this thing looks awesome. I might even buy a Castle Grayskull that's looking like this, just to make it something different. So, but yeah, this is awesome. Skunkworks, not Turtles though, not my jam. But the way this thing opens, I mean, they did a wonderful job on this. And I've been mentioning, how many times have I mentioned, the stuff that they put into their origin scale. Like, they've really bumped up what they're making everything look like. So I'm so impressed with them. And again, I know this line was said to have been dead about 4 years ago, and here we are, just cruising along, more and more and more. Gotta love it. Black Knight jumping in here saying action figs. I don't know why I said that. Imagine being a turtle completist. Well, it depends on what you're trying to complete, right? See, you have lines within other lines. because trying to be a GI Joe completist, right? That would include Mezco, that would include O-Ring, that would include Super 7 stuff, right? So I guess it's kind of how you look at it. So, and Clint is saying, I only buy a cartoon collection in Mondo. I didn't know you had a huge house there. Buy all the Mondo. That stuff is amazing. But here is the comic book that it comes with. The art looks amazing. I mean, I've always mentioned how amazing the artwork looks when it comes to Motu. Like, it's second to none. I'm not saying there's stuff, that there's not stuff as good, but their stuff is not second to none. You get this awesome throne here with the big rock behind it, I guess, right? Here's the back of it, which looks like a spine, like a nice little rib cage right there. I know Matthew will say that's not what a rib cage looks like. I understand. Skunkworth said, I did pre-order all the Thundercats so He-Man and Lionel could finally have a beer. That's awesome. Boba Fett Gaming jumping here saying, Punk, generally when you do Joe's, Joe Fest tickets go on sale. I really want to go next year. Well, they should be going up within the next week or two. You don't have to. It doesn't sell out, but you want to book your room. So I believe he said that the room blocks should be going up, I think, next week or two. So reserve your room right away, or you can get a suite if you want to pay a little bit more. If you want to book it with someone else, just book your room. Don't worry about the tickets, because you can get the tickets like the week of. If you can always cancel that room, but if you buy the tickets, you have them just in case something happens. Steve Martin jumping in here saying, I was collecting Motu Classics. So glad I stepped away to focus on Classified. My pockets would have nothing but dust. It's hard, dude. It's hard. Like, if you're collecting multiple lines. So, but here's these are different masks. So, it kind of reminds me of, was it Bionicles? What was that Lego line? Was it Bionicles? I think it was Bionicles. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But these different masks are really cool. He's got these like bone Wolverine claws. It's just soft goods cape. Again, I'm glad I'm not into Motu anymore, but this would be something. Even if I was like partially into it, I'd be like, I have to have that. It just looks awesome. Shark says, do like Ronnie and I did, book the Marriott room on day one. Don't wait, just lock that shit down. Yeah. Again, just do this. Black Knight, yes, this is the SDCC exclusive. So I'm sure it will be available. So here you have another mask. Like, they give there's a ton of stuff in this, and just the box is amazing. Here's this mask, which is kind of weird. You go from this, and it's like, it kind of like this transition here from this to this kind of reminds me of Evil Dead 2, where her face like morphs like right in front of you, the girl's mom. And this is probably the only one I don't really like, but it's actually kind of funny. I have a feeling, I look at this, I have a feeling MTC is going to be like, that's my favorite one. But yeah. But I guess when you pull away and you see everything, it doesn't look that bad. But I just love this. This whole set is just really cool. So if you're a Motu Origins fan, pick it up. SDCC exclusive. Again, I don't think it's going to be hard to get. And there's ways to get everything, right? There's always ways to get things. Like, same time Toy says he's getting it anyway. Yeah, the Mad Rick comes in. Swallow your soul. Exactly. And a lot, I didn't even think of it till I switched that. Until I switched that, I went, oh my god, that's kind of what it reminds me of. So there you go. If you want it, pick it up. Look, I mean, look at all the stuff that it comes with. I mean, it's a nice little display right there. Um, and I think Mattel does a wonderful job when it comes to all this. Then here you have Skeletor fighting all the turtles slash He-Man turtle, and where's that? That might be President Trump turtle right there. That hair. You cannot tell me that thing is not not modeled after Donald Trump's hair. All right. So there's that. Um yeah, Nolan, I agree. Like that's the throne is like that's something I can see a lot of people being like, you know what, I could work that into my Mythic Legions. I could work that into, the larger scale, Masterverse figures or anything like that. Hell, you can make it so Cobra Commander's sitting in that throne. Although I think everyone's like 3D printed the Cobra Commander throne. I know I have. It's an easy print. So, all right. So this got dropped and made a lot of people mad, or I don't know, some people, I don't know. But I guess there's a another Spider-Man. Every time a Spider-Man drops, people are mad. Like it's instant anger when Spider-Man is dropped now. And there have been a lot of Spider-Man dropped this year. So this was part of I forget what it's called, but it is a Walmart exclusive, I believe. I have no idea what what it's supposed to be. Again, I have the Spider-Man that I need, and I have a Ben Reilly Spider-Man. So I have Maximum Spider-Man, and I have the Maximum Spider-Man, and I have a Ben Reilly Spider-Man. When I find a good Miles Morales in Legend, like in the Legend series, I'll probably pick it up. But I don't think I'm going to buy any that don't have articulated toes. But this thing does look decent. I mean, I don't know why anyone needs it, but if you want it, then you can pick it up. Hellfire Gala. Thank you, Terrence. So Hellfire Gala, whatever that was, I don't know. I just know it popped up and it made a lot of people mad, it seemed. A matter of fact, it's not easy to find. Like I had to literally Google it and search it to find it because it doesn't show up on like some of the main places that I get the images from. But here you go. If you need another Spider-Man, and again, I believe it's the Walmart exclusive. Hellfire Gala right here, Spider-Man. So there you go. Get it if you want it. And if you don't want it, then don't get it, and just let it sit on the pegs, and eventually it'll be like, 1750, like this Professor Xavier right here, which I think is super super cool. Okay, Terrence says it was a costume given to him by the White Queen. And again, I understand why people are mad about all the Spider-Men that have come. It is an awful lot. There have been a lot this year, so I can fully understand why people are kind of aggravated. But at the same time, you don't have to buy it. It seems like on one, on one hand, it would make sense. Like, hey, we got the molds going, let's do it. It also seems like, hey, we have these other Spider-Men. Why don't we wait till next year to drop a few more so we can keep Spider-Man on the pegs rather than throw a whole bunch out there and then have to come back and figure out a way to do more new Spider-Man. But hey, Skunkwork says, I miss when comics were simple because you're a simple man. I miss when comics were 75 cents too. Hey, do people go into comic book stores and bitch to them about how much they cost? I mean, like they do toys. I'm just asking for a friend. I'm the friend. And Skunk Works, I only call you simple because I'm a simple man too. Just trying to make my way through the galaxy. All right. So while we have him here, maybe Terrence wants to fill me in on this. Four Horsemen are dropping this role playing game and a figure to go with it. And again, like I always say, with I think every Four Horsemen design that I've seen, well, I can't say that. I'm not a huge fan of the Cosmic Legions, but I don't think they look bad at all. This thing looks awesome. I believe that's Dubin, at least very similar to him. But this is a role playing game of some sort. I don't know. I don't know if you could pay me to fucking play a role playing game at this age. I just lose my interest very easily. If you can imagine that. But this is awesome, and I don't know how this would even work into role playing, but I really like the figure. I look at this and I like the colors on it. Yeah, it is a nice figure, and again, I don't know how to say it any more than anything that, dude, like the Four Horsemen, they know how to design and paint and accessorize an action figure for sure. Um, yes, confirmed. Punk hates storytelling. I do my best. Skunkworks says, "Man, they make such nice figures, but damn my life, insurance policy runs out when I'm 75. About the same time, they'll ship these." You know what? I think their timeline, for the most part, is pretty good. Okay, I think for the most part, the accuracy of recent of their timeline is right. But you are right. The timeline might not be till you're about 70 years old. But yeah, Terrence says he recorded an entire script of Star Wars playing the role of Han Solo with other YouTubers, and you're worried about losing interest in a role playing game. Come on. I don't know how to say. That was fun too. That was fun. But that was something I knew was going to end. All right. Dungeons and Dragons may never end. All right. It's kind of like fucking Monopoly. It may never end. All right. It may just never ever end. Anyway, again, good looking figure. I mean, I don't think I would need to role play to buy this, or maybe you do. Maybe you need to be during a role playing event and they're like, here's the drop. You have the code to get it. But either way, this figure looks absolutely fucking amazing. So I know nothing about it. I just kind of saw it drop and how I think it's awesome. The Four Horsemen Studios, you know, they're a growing company that actually, that ship stuff. I mean, you actually do see new things popping up from them, which I think is, again, a testament to who they are and, their cult. the cult of Mythic Legions. And you can say whatever you want. There's a lot of cults in this community, and they're one of them. But hey, you know what? You keep making good figures, I'll keep buying them, and I'll enjoy what I have. Madrick says Sir Gideon pre-order only took 2 years to get to my hand. That's why I wait. I'm 100% honest. That's the reason why I wait. Now, the thing that I will say is that we know, like with the Four Horsemen, they're going to do it. But if you told me, hey, Classified said, here you go. These are all the figures. It's going to take 18 months to get them. But if you buy them now, each figure is going to be $5 cheaper. The deluxe figures are going to be $8 cheaper, and the vehicles are going to be $15, $20 cheaper. But you have to wait 18 months. I'd be all fucking in. But since I'm not all in on with the Four Horsemen and Mythic Legions, I don't think it's beneficial to me. But if it was Classified, in a heartbeat, man. in a heartbeat, I would do it. So, um, Bobby Wool jumping in here saying, there is that one cult that just does everything to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes. It took 2 years to get Maxilis in to get. It took 2 years for Maxilius to get in hand. Well, I can tell you there are some O-ring figures that have taken over 3 years and they're still not in hand. I'm just saying. And Terrence says this figure will be at SDCC. I have to ask somebody to get that for me. All right, so we're going to go a little off the board right now, which I don't really like looking at websites when pulling stuff up. But, you know, my moderator, I think both moderators, but one moderator I think is all about this, and that is these crypt figures. So let me pull this up quickly here, share the screen. And we're going to quickly take a look at these. They went up for pre-order today. And we have the Crypt Bigfoot action figure. I'm willing to bet that Ed and Travis Not Fucking Moody will be talking about this tomorrow. These are awesome looking. $110. Nothing that I'm looking to spend my money on, but I know Ed was like really excited about this. And you're going to see just how big these things are. Now, there's a Yeti and Bigfoot. This is Bigfoot. As we know, Ed likes to go to the creek, put mud on his toys. Still just looking at the bridge layer and seeing the 40-year-old dirt that's sitting there just drives me nuts. But these do look good, you know. But to me, I mean, how many Bigfoots do I need? How many Yetis would I need? Someone like Ed, he thinks he needs all of them. Who am I to question that? I have like 10 fucking snake eyes, and just in classified form. If we rephrase that, I have like 10 fucking snake eyes just in classified form. And you can see exactly how big this thing is compared to a 6-inch figure. So, but yeah, this is a nice looking figure. 110, definitely out of my wheelhouse. I don't want to say out of my price range because, well, we'll get to it in a little bit. Hi, it's me says that's a crick monster. I don't know, because the next one you may feel differently. The 3-star says, "Oh, just wait until I have a shiny new 3-foot bridge layer." Hey, good luck finding somewhere to put it and play with it. You can't even find a place to post or to display it. So here it is, a little story about it. The Loose Collector Bigfoot. So if you're interested, head on over to BBTS. Again, great thing about BBTS is you don't get charged until it ships. But I will say this: I have a feeling that if I was going to go in on this, the Yeti is going to be more my style. So quickly here, you kind of see exactly how big. Is this? Who is this big guy right here? I forget what his name is. Matter of fact, I didn't see these pictures. To see how big they actually are, look at this. That's Maximum Hulk, who's a pretty big guy. And yeah, that's a big scale there. Although we know Maximum Hulk would still kick the shit out of him. 610 jumping in here saying, "What's up, ladies and gentlemen?" Are there any ladies in here? I'm not sure if Allison is still here. So, but for me, if I was going to buy one, I think I'd go with this Yeti right here. I think it looks pretty badass. I saw someone like comparing it to the Fatal Fluffy, which I think if you want to customize a $100 action figure, God bless you. I know I wouldn't want to do that. So, Sean Forrester, yes. Where's it? Oh, I can't highlight it. Hyde, Mr. Hyde, and then the shark. Both of you, jumping in just for the first time today, thank you very much, Mr. Hyde. And I knew it. I just couldn't think of the name. But thank you. So yeah. And let's see here. Ed says I'll be taking lots of blurry pics of these. Why blurry? Oh, took me a second to figure that out. Why would they be blurry? Oh, because all pics are blurry of Bigfoot and the Yeti. But I like this one. If I said, hey, I'm gonna get one of these, I'd probably go with this one. If I look at it too long, I'll probably try and talk myself into it, so I can't look at it for too long. But this is for Ed. Again, I'm sure they're gonna be looking at this. This is also like an angry wampa, right? Like this is truly Black Series, the angry wampa, what you would fear, if you were Luke Skywalker. Frank Dumagno jumping in here saying a punk with toys and ramblers. And here he has two figures that he's kind of I don't know why this guy's dancing around them. Is he supposed to be dancing around them or what? But yeah, he's just kind of dancing around this dude. I would have ran away. But here's the Yeti story, telling everything about the Yeti. If you're interested, interesting fact. The new, well, they're not new. They've been around a couple years now. The Utah Hockey Club. I forget what they changed the name to. They want to be called the Yeti, but Yeti actually blocked them. The Yeti cups, which they were like, that is like the stupidest thing because that would have been a great marketing. So, but there you go. That is all of them, and he's the same size, so I guess they decided not to do the scale with these two. Now, if 610 ever shows up at Joe Fest, we should do our own version of showing how we all scale up. I'll be, well, unless if Seth Green is with us, then he'd have to be behind me because he's the only person shorter than me at Joe Fest. Bobby Wold saying Yeti or Bigfoot might be a nice one to pose with Naugahyde or Shadow Tracker hunting them. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, but goddamn, you're right. Son of a bitch. But you know what? There's more. But anyway, if you are interested, there you are. I wanted to bring it up just because I know Ed is really into it. He was like super excited. He was like a little kid on Christmas. Matt O'Brien jumping in here saying happy Monday. I like to hear that. Happy Monday, right? Most people are, dreading Mondays, where I'm like, hey, I got a show to do. I can't wait to be up till after midnight and be on here for 3.5 hours. And but yeah. But there is someone else that's dropping some stuff. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I added this in, so it's out of order. So Super 7 dropped another Thunder Tank. It's an Amazon exclusive. I did put it in the community tab. If anyone is interested. I've already had people making comments about $500. Oh my God. Like, then someone made a comment that I fully did not understand. Again, if you don't want to spend $500 on a vehicle, I understand. If you want to laugh and say $500 for a Super 7, I fully understand even more. With all that said, the Thunder Tank, from all accounts, is a really good vehicle. Just like the Cat Slayer is really good. $500 for something. Now, clearly, I'm not going to buy it because I don't need it. It's also completely out of scale. So, and this thing is massive. This thing is massive. Sean Forrester says, I'll wait for Amazon to put it on sale, maybe. But yeah. Cobra, I did not back World War Hell. Uh, I'll wait and see when I see them in hand, and then maybe just pick them up at Joe Fest or another convention, or order them when they come in. I'm kind of I gotta be. I just gotta watch the things that I back. Right. I feel kind of burned with a couple of the O rings and how long it's taken to get, and I'm still waiting and waiting. And I like the people, but I am still waiting. So I haven't backed it. I don't know if it's still up. I mean, I could always back a couple, but anyway, but I did not back it up. Uh, Woody says they probably didn't even remake them. These are just thousands and thousands unsold with repaint on them. Believe me, I've thought about that. Graph jumping in here saying, can't wait to see that tank next year. I can't wait to see that tank next to your cat's lair, punk. This the only cat's lair I have is my fucking house where we have all kinds of stray cats. Bobby Walt says treads in the back, wheels in the front. This is just a snow cat with the actual cat face. And it is a troop carrier too. So no matter what you say, this thing does look nice. All right. I mean, this is supposed to be the cartoon accurate one. And when they say cartoon accurate, they color it the best that they can when it comes to the color. Right. So I haven't actually messed around with one, but again, for everything that I've heard, people are really happy with it. The detail is actually pretty good for the most part. It's not great. It's not like a HasLab, to be 100% honest. At least not from what I see. If Kenzo was here, he has one. He could talk about it, but I don't see him here. Who's your daddy jumping in here saying, does it have a pull-out kitchen? I don't know. How come no one ever got mad about the that little game set that was in the Millennium Falcon? You ever think about it? No one ever gets mad about that. So it is 27 inches long, 17 inches wide. That's big. That would probably be about the size of a whale. But the detail on this is nothing compared to what they would put on a whale. Here's the inside of it. I'm trying to think of how this is being seen here. But they do have like a little table there and everything. It does come with Panthro, which I don't believe the original Thunder Tank came with a figure. So they are giving you a retooled Panthro, which I don't know if he's completely retooled. I think this might be one that they have at Target, but they are giving you a figure now, which, like I said, I believe the original, they did not give you a figure. I'm still not saying the value is there, but that is, that's on you. Skunk, we're going to pull out litter box. But it says new figure, and I don't know how new it is because I thought there's a new Panthro that's at Target, right? Maybe they haven't put Panthro out yet. But either way, if this is something that you want, it's $500. It's an Amazon exclusive. There's a link in my community tab. Please use it. I get some commission off it. I don't think this is huge in anyone. There are people that want it, but I don't know like how many people were clamoring for this. But here you can kind of see everything. Again, from what I heard, it is a really good. It's a really good vehicle. And then you can see exactly how. Again, this is one of those things where you have to actually see it in hand to understand the gravity of how big it really is. I mean, I said that about the cat's lair. I mentioned to people about the flag who, constantly like, I know how big it is. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you really do. You want to go with length, and it's not just the length of it. So anyway, there it is. But what I am going to do is you need to hear from one of my sponsors, quickly as I don't have to do a grumble duff, but I do have to use the restroom.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble duff. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, Moss Man, I have a case of the grumble duff, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HelloDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in 1 business day. So like I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, Mouse Man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HelloDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box and I thought, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh, dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at HelloDopeToys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're gonna save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all saved. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to HelloDopeToys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then like at the end of the month, they're like, Hello Dope Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to HelloDopeToys.com and like and subscribe. And then in the comments, put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not HelloDopeToys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, all right, guys, bye!
Skunk Warrior, you're on point. His lats are on point today. I mean, that is someone that is just standing there. He just got the lats out. We all seen guys that are like that. I get this is funny because I literally just bought on during Amazon Prime days. I ordered a new Roomba because mine was like about 12 or 13 years old. They should have made it a Thunder Tank Roomba. All right. That would have been awesome. I would have been all for that. That is for sure. Russell Lemieux says, what's a grumble duff? So I believe Ted. God, I wish I knew what episode it was. I should find out what episode he described it and clip it. It's when your stomach can't handle. And if I remember correctly, the story that he told, he was with his wife. And I believe she said, you have a case of the grumble duffs. Action Fix says a grumble duff is when your stomach is upset and it is gurgling. Yeah, there's an actual story. Again, I am not Moss Man. A lot of people think that I am. I am not Moss Man. You know who Moss Man is? You know, it's these guys over here at Hello Dope Toys, where if you're not subscribed yet, you need to go over there. They're on the road to 1,000. But they're the ones. Well, not them. Ted. If Aaron was listening right now, he'd be like, don't you fucking lump me in with Ted, all right? We just own a business together. Which I don't blame him. So yeah, that's a grumble duff. I think Ed explained it as best that anyone can that isn't named Ted. All right. So one of my favorite companies of stuff that they're doing is Fresh Monkey Fiction or Big Bad Workshop. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to just get a Big Bad Workshop I'm assuming Fresh Monkey Fiction will eventually be gone and it's just going to be called Big Bad Workshop. Although I think Fresh Monkey Fiction is a cooler name and a cooler logo. So anyway, um, a little San Diego Comic Con stuff. Now, I'm not a huge Tick fan. I know a lot of people are, but we have seen a lot of SDCC stuff that they're going really heavy on like surfing and stuff. So this is the 2025 Early Bird Convention pre-order. From what I understand, I was listening to Robo. Um, I was listening to Robo, and he was saying that it's cheaper if you order at SDCC and you get priority shipping, which means I'm assuming they'll let everyone know they hit their pile of loot and then they'll ship it out. So includes soft goods shorts and so much more. Love that. And so much more. $45. You get a beach ball, alternate hands, alternate heads, a beach towel, a surfboard. I really don't know the lore of the spoons. I know it's something to do with the tick, with the spoons, but yeah. And Lone Dragon saying French donkey faction. All right, I don't understand. Sometimes I wonder about you, Lone Dragon. I do. And Graph yelling spoon. Viper Skull says it's his battle cry. But why is it his battle? I guess that's the whole thing. Like why is it his battle cry? I mean, that's what I wonder. I mean, I guess I could find out really easily. I just don't really care that much. So anyway, if you want this tick, it will be available. But if you get it at SDCC, it's I think he said you get it cheaper and you get priority, so you'll get it a little bit faster. Matt O'Brien says something to do with the tip when it comes to spooning. That's what I heard. All right. And now on to Chatsworth. And we did see this guy at Joe Fest. If I am correct, Ed, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that this is actually being made through Big Bag Workshop, Fresh Monkey Fiction. Unlike what was happening when they did the Killer Warg, because as cool as the Killer Warg is, it is not the greatest figure. It's not awful, but again, if that was the Operation Monster Force figure that you picked up, you might not buy another one. So here's everything that he does come with. The weapon is made by Gridiron, so it's like this Gatling gun. He has extra donuts, big old machine gun and ammo chute. So, but what we did get is now pretty little promo pictures of Chatsworth here. Now I know nothing about Chatsworth. This is the guy that I will be picking up. I don't know how big he is compared to the Yeti and the Bigfoot that we just saw. I don't think he's going to be nearly as tall. But as you can see here, he has blast effects. This, as I'm looking at this, the way the gun is, it kind of reminds me of the Jaws of Life that came with Ripper and obviously the new Firefighter. Chad says the Crypto Yeti and Bigfoot on. Yep, we talked about that earlier. So I don't think he's going to be that big though. Who's Your Daddy says my Killer Wog broke right out of the package. And again, like I didn't have a bad experience with either one that I have, but I've also heard a lot of people did. And I'm not that guy to be like, I didn't have a problem, so it's perfectly fine. I bought 2 of them. So I'm not naive to that. It's disappointing because everyone else that had, I forget what the other figure was. I forget what the other figure was, but is based off of that same mold and everything. no one seemed to complain about it. Everyone said he was really good. So I know there's a lot of people that had an issue with that Killer Warg. So I'm glad that there's kind of switching and doing their own thing. Bobby Wolf says he might not be as tall as that Yeti, but that's why he comes with the Gatling gun. I'm with you. um, Matthew Matt says that was common with the naked version. They use Furry Planet's mold, but they messed up the plastic. Yeah, and that's and again, like Matthew, I think you said you had the original one. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Veteran Williams. There it is. And everyone else said basically like, yeah, that was really good. So they were excited. And I mean, the smell of the plastic, and again, I'm not smelling the plastic, but when you opened up that Killer Warg, it had a very unique smell. So Matthew says the primal one broke. Also, they replaced it. Haven't had an issue with the replacement or the regular version. Again, like I didn't have an issue either, but I know people did. So anyway, here's Chatsworth. He's walking around. He's large. He's in charge. I am excited with all this Operation Monster 4 stuff. I don't even. I can easily say I don't fully get it, like what their story is. You know, they're starting to add some very obscure, kind of more comical characters in some ways. You know, they went from Dracula and a new, the Forgotten King, who they made up, all these vampires and Van Helsing and stuff like that. And they're adding some, I guess, what would be considered like comical, but I don't have a problem with it at all. I think that they're doing a wonderful job. Obviously, I'm picking it all up. I am interested to see how he'll be able to hold this gun. That's one of the biggest issues with the Killer Warg. A lot of these figures, when they're this big, which is kind of odd, you would think when they're this big, they would actually have more articulation, but they give them less articulation, probably because of the cost tooling. Knowing that you have a big hulking figure that you don't want to have different cuts on it, and you got to put more money into your mold and the plastic than maybe the design. So I am a little interested. Hopefully, it won't be too bad, but the face sculpt looks good. You gotta love the Cobra Kai bandana that he's wearing. Does Cobra Kai wear black? I don't know. Anyway, it's a red bandana, kind of like the Karate Kid guys. He's got the big bullets, like rock and roll. So I think you got to do some pictures with rock and roll with this guy, right? If you like G.I. Joe or you have G.I. Joe, I think like rock and roll and Chatsworth, they need to have some sort of pairing of pictures together. But there he is, blasting away. Oh, okay. It's the Rambo bandana. Okay. And now, does anyone know the story with the donuts? Because I don't know anything about that, but I know he has a bunch of donuts. Which, once again, why would anyone want stuff like that, huh? I don't want a tea set. I don't want a doll set with my stuff, right? It's funny that like all this stuff, all these accessories get added in, but when they add it into a HasLab, people like lose their shit about it. Robert Strubin says it's too bad that he did not come with the lunchbox for his donuts. Dude, that is honestly, that right there is a good call. That's something definitely they should have had. Because he, in all honesty, or even like a Krispy Kreme box, right? Like a donut box, like he just went and got them. Like that would have been pretty cool. Oh my goodness. Radnam, why is Larry showing a picture of Ed on screen? It's kind of funny. I did kind of notice that, and I don't know if you noticed it, but I felt like when there was a little bit of tension, we were all on Hella Dope Toys, that, Radnam had a little tension against us because we went to Joe Fest and he went to DFW. I'm just saying. The tension was there, though. Anyway, if you're into Operation Monster Force, and I have to say, if you like action figures, it is something that I think most people would enjoy. But if you're not into like mythical creatures, then just don't worry about it. So, and there he is, angry. Again, I'm excited. I love this shit, man. I don't know how. I don't know why. So I'm not sure I understand why I like toys like I do. It's easier on the knees. I've mentioned that. No swelbo from falling. The effort to pose the toy is not the same as doing a kickflip or how a 360 kickflip. Pop Blender jumping in here saying the rivalry is real. I guess. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I know where I'm going or where I'm planning on going. I'm going down to Joe Fest next year, and then right after that, I'm headed down to Orlando, which that's a 2 week. I know I've never taken 2 weeks off. That isn't. Hey, you're no longer needed here. I've worked at the same company for 24 years, so it's been a long time. So anyway, Tatsis, I still prefer the weaponry over the kitchenette, but won't deny the kitchenette offers more versatility. Again, it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. Just remember that. But yeah. Ed says, I'm driving the bus to where you're going, punk. Wait a minute. I didn't even say anything about going to hell, did I? I'm talking about going to Orlando. The Madrick says, I just want the nun. Oh my god, she looks awesome. Yeah. Joan of Arc looks awesome. I still think again we didn't see the ex-wife painted or a digital color, but to me Red Riding Hood is that was the showstopper of everything that they showed for me at least. And I remember seeing it last year and I thought it looked good. Then to see everything kind of mocked up. All right. One more thing before we get to the topic. Some of you may have saw this drop. Once again, this kind of goes back to our first topic that we discussed about people being mad about a $325 HasLab. Oddly enough, I haven't heard one people complain about this, and that is the Rumbler. Now, mind you, the Rumbler was shown off almost 2 years ago when we were at PowerCon. Because I remember talking about it because it was shown off at the same time that the Vanguard was shown off, and it was just kind of right there. Boom, a little blurb. They showed the front of it. That was it. Never saw anything else never saw anything again about it. Kind of just thought, hey, you know what? Maybe they're just trying to troll someone, because this was when Valaverse said, hey, we're doing this no matter what. I'm putting the money into my tooling. And then they kind of showed this off and never heard anything again until at Joe Fest when somebody dropped the video about it. And from what I understand, they quickly had their Mezco early birds ripped away. Like, you weren't supposed to do that. You're not getting no more shit. So anyway, this is the Rumbler. People were comparing it to this and that and Royal Rolls or Rolly Rolls. I don't know what the fuck his name is on Facebook. He does a lot of the mock-ups. He says this thing really looks like something that I mocked up, and to me, this kind of reminds me of the Rise of Cobra van. It was actually a Humvee that they were in, and I forget the name of it. I had to restart my computer, so I lost it. If Viper Scout is still in, he knew exactly what I was talking about. So anyway, this thing went up 325. It says real working exterior and interior lights. If you haven't seen the review on it, D Amazing does a really good review on it. Steel Crusher, which now I keep looking at this going, what if you put a Cobra symbol right on the side of it? Here's the front of it. You get free shipping. I don't know if they talked to their shipping and they said, we worked such a great deal out, we can give you free shipping, because that's how it works. Or they're like, hey, this thing's expensive, so let's give them incentive to buy it. But it does have a Rumbler license plate. This doesn't have to be on it. But they're very excited about the free shipping. Got the explosion in the background. Jeremy Kimbrell says, thought about getting this for the Night Force. Here you're going to get this exclusive figure. Has a removable eye patch, cybernetic arm with interchangeable hands, which I think is actually kind of cool because you can probably pop another head on there if you're not interested in having like a snake head. It says includes exclusive Hazard Squad Death Adder figure, Hazard Squad tactical outfit, and jacket. So I think the figure looks really good. I haven't had anything like this. I haven't had any other Rumble Society. This is supposed to ship shortly after SDCC. Again, 325. It comes with everything we're going to go over and this actual figure. Matt says, it looks cool, but when I saw one of the recent review videos, the plastic sounded cheap when he was opening doors and stuff. I mean, I don't know how, the one thing that I've never heard about Mezco is that it's cheap. That is one thing I will say. But hey, it's expensive. And you're right. Like, no one really knows. Not yet, right? Soul Brother number 1 jumping in saying, what's good, Lawrence? And Will are jumping in here. Getting those for the police force. How many are you getting? This thing isn't... Well, you ain't getting it now unless you've already ordered it. It does have the big Gatling gun with a rocket launcher. The doors, the way they lift up, it does have removable plates. It has it has a place that you can hold the weapons, blast effects, I think, in the back. So Matthew says, I thought it sounded cheap. I thought it sounded cheap plastic also, but Punk is a plastic expert that said that about the Vanguard. I said it when I had it in hand, though. That was the difference. And I didn't say that it was cheap. I said it felt cheap. Right? Good for you guys is that the 2 plastic experts both ordered one of these. I'm just going to say that, all right? So you'll get full on a plastic breakdown when these things ship. So it does have an opening hood. It has a gun turret with a mini gun that actually elevates up and down, so you can shoot things up in the air and shoot things that are lower on it. Mad Rick says it looks like the Vanguard quality plastic. Again, I don't know how anyone can say that without saying it. If people want to go back to what I said about the Vanguard, I said it looks cheap because the plastic is very bumpy, like something you'd get at a store. I said it feels cheap. Doesn't mean that it is cheap. Huge difference. ISB says plastic. We talking about plastic. That one fits pretty well there. No way in hell I'm shooting this to make it jump. Though it does have actual shocks. independent shocks. They were very proud of that, which I was like, I believe that the Vamp and the Stinger also do. So I didn't think that was that big of a deal, but they were very proud of that. Um, Will R says, I heard it already sold out. And now on a waiting list. Or well, here's the whole thing. I don't know, like you can't cancel this. Like you bought it. There's no restocking fee. You can't cancel it. So I don't know how. I think the waiting list is just their system. So I don't know how anyone's ever going to get this. Yeah, MCR the All Striker also has independent suspension. I just I just thought it was funny. Like they seem like super proud of it, and I was like, I think a few of them have like suspension. um, Three-Star says that yeah, but those shocks look like they put everything else that's been done to shame. Oh, they did an amazing job. So you have this rocket launcher with wonderful blast effects. Again, you also are paying for the detail that's put into this, right? Just the same as you do when it comes to the Four Horsemen stuff. Like you're paying for this detail. So changeable top guns. So you get this rocket launcher, or you get like the mini gun. I like the way the doors open, or at least the back door. It clearly will be out of your way. That's one of the biggest issues when it comes to posing figures or getting figures inside of it in these vehicles. That you're either yanking the doors off. Like if you want to look at the Vanguard, you could take that off. If you're talking about the Stinger, that thing's a pain in the ass. But yeah. Liquid Identity says changeable isn't a word. I just said it. And isn't. Yeah. Okay. So, and here's the figure. I think the figure looks good, and I don't think he looks that crazy. He might fit in perfectly with, let's say, the Cobra La 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 La. But that's I mean, he works, right? But I think you'd be able to pop off his head and use a different Mezco head. But I could use like a Destro head. I could use a rock and roll head. I don't have any other heads. Oh no! You know what? I got the Storm Shadow. He has an extra head too. Anyway, I guess there are a few heads. I guess I didn't think about. The two pistols. These all came with Snake Eyes. Same with his Uzi. They came with him. So a decent. I mean, it's an awesome looking vehicle. But it may not be for everyone, to be honest. It kind of has like the stub nose, but it does have, the hood that the hood that opens up so you can see the engine. It has. So it's cool that it has the motorized front winch. I do think that's cool. And it'll be kind of fun to maybe do some shorts, some reels on it. But for pictures and stuff, for photography, I don't think a motorized winch really matters. It has 3 buttons on the bottom that change things. And I know when The Amazing showed the bottom, I could only think of like those really cheap $20 vehicles that you got for your kids that just have like the big buttons to change things around. So, but yeah, all in all, again, but this again, you're looking at $325. So I had like $16 off from other Mezco purchases, which didn't even cover the taxes. But you can remove remove the armor on it. So, but here's how it looks. Again, everything can come off for the most part. It has a hatch that actually is on a hinge, so you can actually pop it up, do pictures like they're popping out of it. You can remove the guns, the turret, the seats fold down in the back, which I actually really like. I think that gives it a nice little detail into it when you're looking into it. You can take off uh, the luggage rack on the top. That's what that is, the luggage rack. Um, but I do like the way the lights look. I like the way the interior lights up. But again, we've seen that in those HasLabs too. So it's not like it's like, they're not, you know, breaking anything. It's all been done before. But this is, in my opinion, this is a total, like, this is should be HasLab quality. So here's everything that you're gonna get, and again, the Uzi and those guns both come with. Did they come with the STC? The pistols come with the STCC Snake Eyes, I believe. Maybe they came with the Snake Eyes with Timber. Matthew, do you remember? The Uzi I know came with that Snake Eyes. I don't think the Uzi came with the Commando Snake Eyes, the STCC from last year. But anyway, and the stand. Oh no, this stand is or circular. It looks like it wasn't circular there for a second, but yeah. Oh, KJ got the rumbler as well too. Yeah, that makes total fucking sense, Tony. Total fucking sense. And then here's a look at it. Now, I will say this: it doesn't look like anything that we've seen. It doesn't. It kind of looks like it's a van in some ways, but it has doors. It's not any type of SUV that we've seen, but it does have working shocks. I believe you can take all the grill guards off. You can take all the slits off of it. It does have a compartment in the back so you can store weapons. The back of it does open up. Change out the missile launcher. I really wish they didn't, for some odd reason, they didn't put a picture up of all the accessories for the vehicle. Only what comes with Death Adder. So I'm a little confused on that. Again, this is $325, and well, it was, and you're not going to get it now. Talking to somebody, they said, "Hey, you know what? I'm thinking if I sell the Death Adder, hopefully I can get like $100." I would assume there's only so many of these made, and that Death Adder is probably going to go up in price. I can't imagine that it wouldn't hold its value along with this. So God, I hate when I highlight everything here. MCR says, love the bionic arm, great design. The first thing that I thought of, how can I pair him with Major Blood? Like, is there another head that I can use to is there another head that I can use that will work with Major Blood? Pop Leonard says, my ex-girlfriend had a luggage rack too. I could sit a drink on top of it. Yeah, but I know those guns come with one of the Snake Eyes. But do they both come? Does it come with does it come with the Timber one? I guess that was my question. I don't remember. I know all those guns come with Snake Eyes from Mezco, but I don't know if they come with one or they're split. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But all in all, this is, again, some of us are spending an absorbent amount on some vehicles, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this. And this is supposed to ship. It's supposed to ship right after SDCC, and if it's anything like the Snake Eyes, it's going to take its sweet old time. The thing that I will say about this, and this is going to upset some people. So, aside from the lights and the motorized winch, this is what I believe Valiverse wanted their Vanguard to be. All the accessories, all the design, everything in it, until the tooling came in to make it to that price. What the Valis shows want is they want you to think this is what the Vanguard actually is. And the Vanguard now is, $125. It was $185. These really aren't even in the same category at least they shouldn't be in the same category when it comes to, design and detail. Because when you are looking at, once again, a $325 vehicle to, I'm going to say 185 because that's what it was, you know, there is a lot of stuff that is going to be left out. The design's not going to be there. Uh, but I think this is what, he was hoping for until he realized, the costing and tooling, dashboards don't get the same type of detail. But what the people will still tell you that love that thing, that blindly follow anything he does, they'll tell you that this is what it is. Oh man, I bet this thing's just as good as the Vanguard. No, the detail is not. And and that's okay. It's a much cheaper vehicle. But Model Misfit says, I have the SCCC Snake Eyes. He has the Mac. Okay, see, and I couldn't remember. That's what I was saying. I couldn't remember. I know those two pistols he comes with. And I couldn't, and I knew that the one with Timber comes with the Uzi. I couldn't remember. So anyway, but there it is. That's another vehicle that some got. To me, I kind of looking at that like that's more of an investment than anything. Only because I don't see it not holding its value. I actually asked a couple people who have been collecting Mezcal longer, and they're like, "Yeah, that thing's not going to lose its value." So, said, you know what? I'll take the chance. I'll fork out as much for a HasLab for that. I'll get it. See if I like it. If it's something I feel like I don't want, then I can just turn around and sell it to someone else that wants to use it. But I think for the most part, I looked at it a little bit more as I was trying to decide, and I said, you know what? Yeah. And and that's fine, Matthew. I mean, you really like Valiver stuff. I don't. I don't think that the design is all that. This is something to me, even for the price that's more, it appeals to me more, and that's fine. I don't, go for it. Have fun with it. In all honesty, I'd rather have the All Striker than that. I mean, I ordered an All Striker, so I'll have that too. And after seeing Lenny holding the All Striker on the full force, I'm like, I want another one. So I can have one with it fully loaded out and then one without the stuff that looks like the classic one, because it looks really awesome. But yeah, so again, plenty of vehicles out there. I don't think there's going to be a shortage coming at all. But yeah, so let's see here. Says, oh, the grumpy old man. I don't worry about that type of stuff. I say what my feeling is. All right. I reviewed the Vanguard. I have had numerous people bash me. I've had Bobby Valla call myself and by name, myself and Bobby be plastic experts because we criticized the plastics that it felt cheap. Then admitted to saying that he didn't watch the video. And then I rewatched my Vanguard review. Please go watch it if you have an hour. I'm actually pretty complimentary on it. I don't think it's the worst vehicle in the world at all. I don't. Some people like it, $200 for those different hounds that Gridiron is doing. Cal, it's not, for me, it doesn't interest me all that much. Again, I'll be honest, the hounds that they've shown, I'm more interested. First off, I think the Snowhound, I like that one the most of all of them that I've seen. But for me, a hound or not, I actually like the All Striker, and I like the Fans Hobby one more. Sometimes less is more. I've said it for years. I think less is more just sometimes works a little bit better with certain things. And I think with the, with those doom buggies, I think less is more when it comes to that. So, but that's just my opinion. And again, I want people to be happy and buy the shit that they fucking enjoy, right? Like, just because I don't buy it or I don't like it doesn't mean you shouldn't like it. So, Matthew says, MCR, the gridiron will melt in 2 years or less. No way I'm spending that much on for a temp. It's not gonna melt. All right. If you leave it out, if you leave it out in the sun, it will. But I think we all have a bunch of gridiron stuff that isn't melting away. But don't leave it in a hot car. I will admit that. If you leave it in a hot car, you might have a puddle. But people have been 3D printing stuff for a long time that doesn't just melt. Fight and Codename saying, yeah, the fans hobby one looks. Listen, the fans hobby one. It's probably the most scaled down of the three. I would say it is the most scaled down of the three, but there's something, and seeing it in person helped even, made me want it even more. But again, I think I got enough. Cal says all strikers ordered. I just hate how the Mad Max. No, and again, I'm not saying it looks bad, so don't take it like that. I think it looks really good. It's just not for the price of it. And it doesn't have like soft wheels on it and stuff like that. You can't really roll it. I mean, the tires roll, but you can't really roll it. All right. I don't really want front suspension because I'll roll it down hills and shit. I mean, I did it with both the Vamp and the Stinger down the big grass hill with my daughter, and then I did it at the skate park, right? And I actually had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it though. Chastity Guru says less is more. I've been telling the ladies that for years. I fully get it. Crestio Crow says if my phalanx melts, Matthew, I'm in deeper than I thought. Yeah, but you live in Canada, and I don't think anything gets hot enough up there to melt anything. So, yeah, the rubber tires thing, that's, to me, that's huge. They look really good, but Plastic Fantastic printed me some awesome rubber tires. Now, once again, he said, don't try and roll it down a hill because the hubs and everything will come off. It won't stay on properly. But I'm also not buying a 3D print like that to roll. So, but that's just me. Maybe someone else wants to, not me. So, all right. We're going to take a short break so you can hear about, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for one commercial from one mod, and then I'm waiting for a new commercial where they actually have the name from the other mod. But we'll listen to this for a second.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
Introducing Hasbro's all-new motorized battle tank, the Mobat. It can go forward and over things. It can make tight turns so when Cobra is behind him and he needs to turn around. It has reverse so when G.I. Joe needs to retreat, G.I. Joe doesn't retreat. It even has a tow hitch, so when you want to tow things like the Hell and Grand Slam, and when you want to get there very, very, very slowly. Hey, look, there's Grand Slam now, waving to the crowd. Almost there, guys. There we go. G.I. Joe Mobile comes with everything you see here, including Steeler action figure with accessories. Batteries and Scotch tape to hold the battery compartment closed come separately. By Hasbro. All right. I just needed a breather. I think when I first started doing it, I really didn't. I hardly went to the restroom. I didn't have commercials. After a while, you're just like, I need a break. I need to relax and just take a quick breather. So, kind of putting a couple of the videos that I have in a row as I just kind of sit there and watch the chat. So, anyway, all right. So let's get to the topic here. And I've been doing this YouTube toy tubing for quite some time, and I've been doing reviews. And when it comes to GI Joe, and especially the classified, I have one of the more popular names, and that's just due to the sheer number of stuff that I put out. And clearly, 88 people watching right now, there are people that are interested in hearing what I have to say. And I'm often talked about how people don't really care. They don't really care how much time we spend in this chair, how much time it takes me to create a show and different things like that. And I'm fine with that. I'm not saying you should. But lately, there's more and more people that are getting into reviews. And they're doing the same thing that I did and what other people did to try and get their name out there. I've said it numerous times. You don't have to be first. It's great to be first or be very early. But for me, I look at everything like a business when it comes to this. And what I mean by that is, like at Joe Fest, Adam Shark Eyes is like, hey, that place has Crystal Ball if you want to get it. And I went, no. I go, a bunch of people have already done the review. By the time I spend $30 to have it shipped over, the little bit more that it actually costs to get the figure, by the time I get it, it's not going to benefit me for how much I make off of it. And also how many subs I might gain from it. That's how I look at things. And with more and more people getting into this, the competition is growing. But for someone like myself and someone like, let's say, Bobby B, I'm assuming, I don't really talk to Bobby B about his numbers or anything, but for like Bobby B, myself, I would assume Joe Jerk, right? Like when we do stuff, like we can do stuff a little late and people want to hear our voice because they've been listening to us for so long. But at the same time, we've seen Bobby B and we've seen myself, and Jerk does the same thing. They will try and get things early. Now I make the decision at times like, hey, you know what? Like I said, Crystal Ball, I could have had Crystal Ball already. And you've seen someone like 3-Star. 3-Star just ordered, to get it early, the Firefighter and Crystal Ball. Well, he took the chance to get the Firefighter. I don't know how he got it. I haven't talked to him about it. But he got it, and then right after that, it started shipping from Pulse and from Amazon. Now, if he overpaid to get it, or I don't want to say overpaid because you decide how you want to pay. So there's a lot of people that seem to be really upset that other people are trying to get into the reviews, that they're ordering stuff from places, right? They're jumping on it. They're trying to get things early. And I'm like, no one cares. No one cares that I ordered these from the CMD store before we knew they were coming out at Target. They were supposed to be here the Wednesday before Joe Fest, right? No one gives a shit that I paid a little bit more hoping to get them early, only to get fucked over. Okay, fucked over is wrong. Only to get screwed by, hey, they showed up at Target. Now, I'm not going to get into the journey that they took when they left Canada, went to New York, went down to Tennessee, then to Mississippi, and then finally made it up here. Like, no one really cares. And I'm hearing people that are complaining. They're mad that, you know, Yo Joe Jerk now is getting stuff early, and he's obviously ordering it from other places. Hey, I did the same thing. Travis has done the same thing. Bobby B's done the same thing, right? It's not an issue. And nobody gives a shit that I ended up buying 2 Dark Lawns and 2 Footlooses. I didn't need to. I made that decision. No one wants to hear me bitch and complain. At the same time, it's not hurting anything. If anything, it's letting more people find other YouTubers, right? Other guys that are putting out content, and hopefully it's good content or the people enjoy it. There's a lot of reviewers that I don't give 2 shits about. I don't want to hear them. I don't care for their style. Doesn't mean everyone else doesn't. Just like people don't always care about mine. But I'm hearing more and more people that get pissed off that God forbid other people are trying to do the same thing that I did and Bobby did, Travis and Jerk. Baldy's been fucking. Baldy's one that gets shit and just fucking sits on it, right? And again, no one cares that I spend a little bit of extra money, so I damn well better not complain about it, because it doesn't fucking really matter, right? The fact of the matter is, I'm making that decision. Baldy makes the decision to order it a little early. Bobby, Travis, whoever it is. So when I keep hearing people complain about this, it's like, you know what? No one gives a shit. Most people think that we get stuff for free. All right. We have other YouTubers telling people on Facebook and on YouTube that, hey, those guys get Gridiron stuff for free. They get Hasbro stuff for free. That's the biggest fucking lie I've ever fucking heard. It's a load of crap. And once again, it's lies coming out of certain people's mouths. So that's when they're like, hey, again, I think we already talked about the lies earlier on today. Baldy Locks saying, awesome, my popcorn just popped. I'm ready. I don't think it's too much of a hot topic. And then AO Frankie jumping in here saying, what's up, APWT? How you doing, my man? Doing really good. I happened to see Frankie. I happened to see Legend Series promote Frankie, and I happened to just kind of flip it on. It was after it was done, and I skipped to a part, and it was funny because someone had popped into his chat, and he goes, man, you remind me of this skateboarder, and he goes, I got to get the picture, and I literally just Googled it, and I shot him a message and said, here's what you're looking for. Chaz the Guru says, Punk, just find out where Moody orders his and don't order it from there. See, I'm not worried about that. I don't worry about that. Like I said, it's nice to be early. It's nice to be first. I can go back and I can look when I got Duke, Rakondo, and Scarlet, the retros. I had them first for almost 5 days. It was wonderful, right? There's no one else. Everyone's waiting for them. No one else is getting them. I had Buzzer and I had Torch first, right? It does wonders for the channel. But at the same time, it took me forever to get Wolf Spider. And I got Wolf Spider. And I waited to get them from Walmart when he actually shipped. And you know what? I did the review and it did wonderful. But the fact is, there's some people in the community that have been doing this and they're mad that other people are doing the same thing that they did. And, when I get my Rattler, I will do the review. Hell, by the time I get my Rattler, and I think all the HasLabs that I've gotten, I've backed 4 of them now, and I've received 3 of them. I've all gotten them towards the end. but I still went and did it because, as we've talked about this numerous times, as I've grown my channel and I've grown the community that supports me, and then once again, this channel is nothing without each and every single one of you, right? But you guys like to hear what my opinion is. I put my own spin on it. I have the O-ring rattler, so I will be comparing it to it. I will be doing a compare and contrast in my, my way. So, it's just one of those things where, again, no one gives a shit how much we spend, or that someone else doing stuff is ruining our algorithm. I can tell you this. I looked at the firefighter. I knew right away it wasn't going to do well. How did I know it's not going to do that well? Because Shark Eyes got it while we were at Joe Fest. So when he got back, he did it, right? And when you look at it, he had it up for a week before anyone else did. And guess what? It's sitting at under 3,000 views. That is shockingly low for not just a YouTuber, but someone like Shark Eyes, who has got plenty of stuff early and it's done wonders for him. But when you look at it, it's like, hey, that's not going to do that well. Just how it is, right? I know the Operation Monster Force stuff doesn't do that well. Every now and then, one of them will pop. But for the most part, I can look at all my numbers and be like, hey, you know what? They're not going to do that well. That's perfectly fine. Whether it's first or I'm later. But the amount of time that we jump through hoops, I don't believe any of you care. And again, I don't think that I don't think that you really should. I'm doing it. I want to get stuff early because I know when it can help my channel. When I see Darren, and it looks like, and again, maybe in 3-star, I might be wrong. I think you spent a little bit of extra money to get the firefighter and to get the firefighter and get Crystal Ball. I know you wanted them. You probably are hoping that, hey, it's going to help your channel. And that's great. That's what I did to help grow my channel. But sometimes you win and sometimes you just completely get fucked over. Just like people think like, well, how are you getting all this stuff early? Well, I order from 3 to 4 different places. And I order from 3 or 4 different places. And my goal is to cancel the other 2 or 3, wherever it is, when one gets in my hands. Sometimes it works out great. Other times, I get stuck with them. And that's on me. You'll never hear me come in and complain. I did complain about, this Dark Lawn and Footloose only because the shipping of it was fucking ridiculous, because Montreal, it could have come over through any Port Huron or Detroit, but it decided to go to New York, whatever. But how it ended up down to Tennessee and then over to Mississippi to somehow make its way back up to Michigan. Well, the logistics of it is just what drives me nuts. Liquid Energy says, I don't care who reviews early because I have to wait another 4 weeks to get my own anyways. So I wait for my favorite channels instead. And see, Liquid Identity, that's exactly what I've said for quite some time. Now, again, getting it early. Again, if I sat up here and told you, oh no, you know what? Getting it early doesn't fucking help, I'd be lying to you like that idiot that I was showing, that we talked about early with the HasLab, saying that the Snowcat was going to be a mainline release and wouldn't be a HasLab. Again, I'd be lying to you. I know what it does. I mean, you guys can go look at the numbers and you can see, right? You can look at Bobby B's numbers. You can see what happens when you're early most of the time, or first even more. But just like Liquid Identity said, after a while, you review things, you create this catalog, right? You create this catalog of stuff, and people get to know, people get to know you, and they want to hear what your opinion is. I created a style by reviewing them and comparing to the O-rings because I have the majority of the O-rings. It's also helped me. It's also encouraged me. Let's say at Joe Fest last year, Naugahyde got charged from BBTS. So I found a Naugahyde there because I never had one. So I had the O-ring one. So, this way it kind of helped me do it. That's one of my distinct things that I do compared to other people. I've heard people leave the message or leave the comments. This thing should have been 5 minutes long. Well, okay. Thank you for telling me how I should run my channel. But when I look at the success that I've been having recently, I think I'll continue to do what I'm doing and not try and go backwards like you're suggesting because you don't like it. If you want a 8 to 10 minute video where someone that goes over the figures and the accessories, check out B's Battleground. He does an amazing job. And before anyone that doesn't know and thinks, oh, look, he's throwing shade at B, I talk to Bobby like every fucking day. There's no shade being thrown. We have two different styles. We just get to the figures normally around the same time, right? So, it's one of those things. People will wait for you, but also some people want to be early. But I don't want to hear the complaining when you spend a little bit of extra money and you feel you get fucked over because someone else got it before you and their numbers are doing better. There's a whole bunch of people. Ed 209, he gets stuff pretty early too, right? A lot of a couple of those Canadian reviewers, they get stuff pretty fucking early. For some things, not for everything. 3-star says, I wanted earlier reviews on them for exactly that reason. But I'll only do that if it's something I really want, not just for the early boost, firefighter, and crystal ball work. And that's perfectly fine. And again, you took that gamble, right? You took that gamble. You got the firefighter a couple days early, right? You probably could have waited, saved a little bit of money. All I'm saying is like, hey, you took that gamble. It didn't pay off for trying to help grow the channel. I'm guessing. Right? I could be completely wrong. But, and again, you continue to do your stuff. People will want to watch you. People learn to like you. We're no different than radio hosts, right? People tune in. I don't even watch that much sports anymore, but I listen to sports radio all the time because I've come to just love specific personalities. Kenzo says, my location fucks me for getting stuff early. Again, normally where we're getting stuff early is not in the States. Sometimes, but not always. Sean Forrester says, I watch reviews of figures I already have in hand. I like hearing different thoughts about them. That's another thing. And that's why you build that catalog, right? You build that catalog. I've done every single classified figure. Hell, I had kept saying that I've reviewed every classified figure, and then I realized I didn't do Pimp Daddy Destro. So 3 years into the line, I said, you know what? I want to be able to say I reviewed every single figure. I need to go do this. I went and reviewed it. I wasn't expecting some big numbers from it, but it was something that I wanted to do so I can say, hey, you know what? I have them all. Ayo, Frankie jumping in and saying, I'd rather see my favorite review something early than shoveling through 70 channels, reviewing the same fig when I want an in-depth review and details on a fig. And that's exactly right there. Another thing. There are some people that will just push stuff. I have done shit where I get done doing it and I'm like, I feel like I just mailed it in. Because sometimes you're on autopilot. And Matthew's like, that one really seems like you mailed it in, or not even mailed it in. Just something. I've never tried to mail it in. I always try and put my best foot forward. But okay, hold on. At 209, okay, then it's someone else. There's one of the Canadian guys that I can't think of that gets stuff early. I don't know why I was thinking it was Ed 209 has a huge catalog. Maybe that's why I'm thinking. But there's someone else that's in Canada that I know. Look what Ed says. I'm Canadian. I can't stand anyone saying, "Hey." It's so true. I know people that never are that close to Canada. They probably think it's a joke. It's become like this, this. It's just a joke. It's not. And not all of Canada says it either. That's even what's crazier. MCR says, Punk, would you review a 25th anniversary when you are through with the Real American stuff? I have not decided what I'm going to do next. There's so much stuff that I have. What I can say is that a lot of that stuff that I have, because I would like to continue on with the G.I. Joe stuff, but there's such a gap of stuff where I wasn't collecting. I don't know how I would even be able to fill in that gap. But I can reassure you, I have at least another year or two before I get through the Real American Hero stuff. Though once we get into 2026, it's going to be a lot of skipping around. I will say that. There won't be nearly as many vehicles and stuff like that. Fighting Code Name says, I contacted the pre-order guild about your violations. Accept a visit this week, Mr. Punk. Okay, no, it's not Dan Who. No, Dan Who's in Europe. And Dan Who, I believe, actually has a Hasbro contact. I'm not saying he doesn't pay for them. I don't know. I don't want to spread rumors like that. But I think Dan Who, because he's done stuff for like PulseCon, I think he has a contact directly through it. That's why you're seeing him get a lot of the Marvel Legends stuff early and stuff like that. And again, nothing wrong with it. Hell, I mean, if you run your channel like a business, and again, when I say run like a business, I don't mean I don't expect you not to have fun, right? I do this every single Monday. And then Tuesday, we come back and we do another show. I do it with 3 to 4 other guys. I don't know how many people are on the show anymore. And then Thursdays, I do another fucking show, right? Like, I do it because I love it. But at the same time, I look at stuff and I'm like, I have to look at things as a business. I've said before, like, I can't afford everything that I buy if it's not due to this channel. This channel is what allows me to have everything. Everything. Kenzo says, let's get an in-depth review on the flag. Oh, I put it in the book. Hold on. So, if things go according to how they're supposed to, the flag should be September 28th. Kenzo, just for you. September 28th is when I should be doing the review of the flag. Well, when it should drop. I told you I have everything planned out through 2026. Through Series 5, I have everything planned. I am still missing some stuff, yeah. It'll be up there for a while. Don't worry, I'm not. I'm already dreading that because not only is it large, but right now it is just a let's say it's a placeholder for all the figures that I've just been dumping on it. But yeah, my whole thing was, with this topic, and again, it wasn't anything spicy, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just like I hear people yelling and screaming about it, and I've asked people, hey, do you mind me asking where you got that figure from? Because I do like to find out if, you know, I do like to find out if there's another avenue that I can get stuff a little bit early. Because again, I won't lie. I know that if I'm first or second, it's awesome. You can go look at my vamp. My vamp did awesome. I think I got it right after. Well, actually, Bobby B and I got it on the exact same day because I remember talking to him when he because back when Pulse would ship shit through fucking FedEx and not DHL. I should probably check where my firefighter is from DHL. I'm willing to bet it's in Stowe, Ohio. I'm just guessing. But like all that stuff. I got the ferret right before I went to Joe Fest. So I literally did it the day before I left for Joe Fest. That was awesome. I think I was like the second or third. You know, it helps to greatly grow the channel. I mean, it's either that or buy subs, and I don't buy subs. Or buy advertising. Three-star says, I've got a good lead on a reasonable price cat slayer. I might have to spray on that one. Well, you're not getting that early. What the hell are you going to do with the cat slayer? You're already complaining you don't have space on your streams. Kenzo said, I asked about it because don't you feel that all that you have been doing the last couple years, that you will have a much better video and review based on what you have learned? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things I should have done even now when I did the headquarters. A few people had kind of pointed out some things that I didn't realize. I still like to go into it not knowing, not doing everything. But there was some stuff with the headquarters, stuff that I knew that I forgot. Like I said that underneath the Mobat, in that paste was like a weapon storage, but it's actually for the pile cards. I completely forgot about it. And someone said that you need to check out Hooded Cobra Commander. And there were some things I completely forgot. There was something that I didn't realize, that on the side with the vamp, every vehicle other than the Mobat that was made till 83 has a spot on that. Every single one of them. It's fucking crazy. I never realized that. I do think that there will be some things, like I don't have the microphone anymore. I'm only missing a few things with the aircraft carrier. But it's one of those things that I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to say, because I really do enjoy doing those classic reviews. Just to sit there and go through everything is just to relive everything that you have. And I think you kind of understand. I see the stuff you collect. Not Rachel says, yes, my flag serves as a staging table as well. I can't even say it serves as a staging table anymore right now. Right now it serves as a storage table, because every time I grab more figures, I look at the list. I'm like putting them all there, and it's just becoming, I gotta put stuff away. But yeah, again, there's a lot of people that are getting into the review game. It was brought to my attention after Joe Fest. It seemed like, and I'm talking last year, not this year, a lot of people started doing live streams. All right. And I don't worry about competition like that. A lot of people do. And actually, when it was brought up to me, it wasn't in competition. It was just like, you realize how many people started doing it. And I think a lot of people saw the fun and the success that we were all having. So they wanted to get in on the fun. And I think the same thing happens when it comes to doing reviews. If you're able to find a good lead to get stuff early where you're not going to get screwed. That's always one of the biggest things. When we used to order from, I ordered twice from Return of the Nerd. One time, stuff got stuck in customs. Again, you guys don't give a shit. And the other time, that shipment actually went out the day after. That one got here earlier because it didn't get stuck in customs. So it's one of those things. Where if you're able to get a good lead and you're willing to spend a little bit of extra money. But for me, the way that I look at it is I weigh out, hey, if I get something really early, is it going to help pay for itself? Or if I wait and I spend the $25, the base amount, am I going to end up paying less for that figure in the end than if I get it early? Woody says, yeah, I didn't like live streams at first, but now I like them better. Weird, but it's okay. It's, again, like, you get to talk to people. And again, for you're doing a show with Woody, and Jeff is also on there. And again, you've been on my show, you've been on multiple times with me, I've been on with you or whatever. Getting that connection to talk to people. And again, you and I have talked on the phone and stuff like that. And well, we can only text because someone has no fucking social media, which is still weird as shit. And Woody right now is going, and you're not going to pressure me into getting social media. But it's awesome. Like the whole connection thing when it comes to this, right? Like me going back to when my ex and I split up and we're talking to my son, and like, these aren't your friends. Like, you don't know these people. These are online people. Then I started doing this, and these people are my friends. And we go to Joe Fest, and it's like, hey, even though I've never met you in person, Tony, I fucking feel like I know you. I've talked to you on the phone. I see you all the time. We've done live streams together. It's such a weird, it's just this weird connection that we've all come to. Sean Jones jumping here saying, yo, punk. Frankie saying, you got anything in the works for your channel? Anything you are stoked to review? Maybe a figure you just can't put down, even if there's a fire. No, I dropped that today. I did that right when I got home. I'm talking about this guy right here. No, I knew it was coming, and I did it right when I got home from work, and it's I really like it, man. Like, there is something, in my opinion, when I look at that, like, you see real life. Like, I see real life, and I can take it out. That's why I think the police officer is going to be really awesome. I see it, I see real life, and it looks really good. It actually moves pretty good, and the accessories are super cool too. Right, a sledgehammer, a crowbar, an axe. Although someone left me a very lengthy comment that I haven't read through, and he said, being a former firefighter, this was the gist of it. He said, being a former firefighter, it is amazing. Some of the stuff they get so right, and some of the stuff they get completely wrong. And I haven't read the whole thing. That's the exact same thing that I've heard from one specific person that has helped the classified team as a consultant for military stuff. And he's like, it is amazing some of the stuff they get right, and other stuff that I go, you can't do that. Like, that is the Marine, you put a Marine and an Army ranking on one figure. Now, again, I'm not going to notice. Woody probably won't notice. Kenzo probably won't notice. But someone like Johnny Reno, he'll probably notice. Johnny Reno, Kenzo, I had someone threaten to kick my ass at Joe Fest in one of the ATKM live streams. How are they going to kick your ass when you're not there? and they attack me? How the hell? Like, that's like one of the most mellow fucking streams you ever see, right? Truth. Because I'll tell you what, if you went to Joe Fest the past 2 years and you avoided not only me, but Tony, who you know in real life. Oh, Kenzo, I know who you're talking about. Which she popped in here last week too, right at the beginning. Really strange. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I have to really say on that. Again, I don't think there was anything really too juicy. I think people were expecting it from the thumbnail. And also, I've said this before. Like, I come up with these topics, and I feel like I have like, oh my god, I have so much to fucking say. And then when I get to the topic, I'm like, really, that was like 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds to really talk about it. But the whole point is like nobody wants to hear woe is me is basically what it is. For us reviewers, I can't sit there and be like, you understand, like I spent, I think I paid like $30 from this, $30 for this, and then I also paid for the shipping from CMD store and it got lost, and I ended up getting the one from Amazon for 25. So this one's just sitting there. No one gives a fuck. Like none of you. You're like, yeah, I don't give a shit. You're the one that decided to do it. You're absolutely right. That's why you'll never hear me complain about that. Me bitching and posting, on Instagram about explain this. I live in fucking Michigan. That just has to do with someone needs to explain to me how the hell it came from Montreal, went through New York. Okay, rather than go to Port Huron or Detroit, I get it. But how did it go all the way down to Tennessee and somehow went over to Mississippi? I mean, that thing fucking traveled more than I did. And then it just got lost. And then it magically showed up. That's me bitching about logistics. That's not me bitching about I got screwed, woe is me. But I do hear it. And again, no one wants to hear it because they're like, dude, you should be fucking happy. Like, if I complain about something and they go, oh, well, let me see here. Oh, yeah, it must be nice to have 7,000 plus subs, and it must be nice to actually make some money off that. You're absolutely right. So you're never going to hear me complain about that. G.I. Jetman says, I'm so glad I found this community. I had a lot of mental problems, and meeting all of you has really helped. I hope I can meet you all in person next Joe Fest. Thank you. As long as you don't run me over in a wheelchair, we are good, G.I. Jetman. These knees and ankles, all right, they're meant for skateboarding. What's left in them. And I only say that because you made the comment. So before anyone goes, well, I can't believe you went there. You said something about I may be the one that runs you over. Not me in general. The tripwire says, sorry to hear that, Pug. Feel free to send me if you need free some space. Hey, that's my line. Actually, so I have decided that, so this is actually going to Ed. Ed said, Ed tried to tell me this is what he looked like when he was in the army. I said, you didn't look like fucking Pedro Pascal. I have decided that this guy here will sit on my shelf or in here until the Black Friday giveaway. And right now, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to tie the Black Friday giveaway in with the 36-hour streamathon for Toys for Tots. And you know what? I got some time. Unfortunately, I can't pull up my calendar anymore because Windows 10 pretty much said, fuck you. You can't use the calendar anymore. Hold on. Frankie says, I still get super nervous like a new employed stripper before every lie. But as soon as I start talking to the crazies, I decided to follow and sub. All those fears and shit go away. Yeah, I haven't gotten that in a long time. Like, I mean, I really haven't. Like, I haven't gotten that like in a long time. But I know a lot of people do. But I do think, like you said, Frankie, I think like the moment you go live, you see the people, they're there to talk to you, right? Like they're there to talk to you, and you have that fucking like this weird connection to people you've never met, and some you a lot most of them you never will meet. And then the amount of people that aren't even like in there, they're just there to watch you and hear what you have to say. Um, but yeah, I mean I lost the whole like being nervous probably after that first one. Probably after that first one where I didn't know how to turn off the music. That was the worst. Go watch my first live stream. You'll be like, "What the fuck happened?" I had to kill it and restart it because I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to shut off the music.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The Toy Kind of Mood with a $5 super chat saying NGL, whatever that is. What does NGL mean? When I saw the thumbnail and description, I thought it was me. Haha. I'm just a competitive bastard asshole. Salute to you. Well, I will say this to you, Travis. If you think anything is about you, you may just want to look in the mirror and say, why would I think that? I'm not going to, seriously. I can't believe, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, sometimes you have to look in the mirror and, like, if you think that, you have to ask yourself, why would I think that? I've told you when you drive me fucking nuts. I don't think that was ever a fucking, I don't think that's ever been hidden, right? You have driven me absolutely fucking crazy when it came to certain things, right? I don't think I'm shocking the world right now. It wasn't about you. But if you think it's about you, maybe you need to like go, why would I think that? That's all I'm saying. But there's a lot of guys out there, this is supposed to be fun. And the more people that grow, the more people that grow, the hopefully the better this community gets. And the best thing about this, and I say this all the time, I don't have to watch somebody that I don't like. Right? I don't hate watch. I truly have no reason to hate watch. Like, I have other things to do. Like, I literally watched the whole entire season of Justified in about a month. And then over the weekend, I watched the one season that they did in 2023. And now I'm like, God damn it. I need another season of Justified because you didn't bring Boyd Crowder back just to not give me a payoff, right? You gave me a payoff for Raylan and how he finally retires, and then Boyd Crowder comes back. Okay, if no one's watched Boyd Crowder, you don't know. I just Kenzo says, plus you have to rewatch Buffy. Well, I only do that when Olivia's here. And unfortunately, she's not here. So I swear we're never going to get through Buffy and Angel. I want to, though. Like,
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Woody Triple Two, the figure addict, with the $9.99 super chat saying $4.99 more than Travis. So you know what you're going to get. If I can find it here, it's a. That's good. I still don't understand why you like fart noises so much, but you know what? You've given me so many fucking super chats. You're always going to get one, all right? Quickly, there was someone that asked about the 36-hour stream. Where is it? I think I lost it. There's so much. I forget where it was. But I am, at this point now, I'm going to be looking at when I'm going to be doing the 36-hour stream. So anyone that's new to the channel here, last year, at the end of October, I did a 36-hour plus stream for Toys for Tots. And anything that I made from super chats, anything I made from channel memberships, anything that I made on the YouTube channel Or if you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to give YouTube any of that money. You could send it directly to my PayPal. Everything went to Toys for Tots through Sergeant Reds. They gave a discount on everything, so we were able to get more. We don't give out they don't give out old toys. The Marines for Toys for Tots do not accept that. So I now have to start looking at what the best date is. I don't do a stream on my own. When I went back and forth and I thought about how I wanted to do this, I thought about like asking the bigger YouTubers if they wanted to come on, but it all came back to me. Like when it all came back, in my opinion, it was, I want to put on people that have supported me from day one or that support me right now. Guys that have smaller shows, Backyard Battlefield, right? I want to have them spend an hour or an hour and a half, whatever it was, right? I want to have them on here doing their show with me part of it. Offer this Toys for Tots so I can highlight them, because hopefully there's a lot of eyes on it. The channel has grown tremendously. And again, whether you like me or not, it's for a good cause. I don't take any of the money. Everything goes to Toys for Tots. I have to talk with Sergeant Red. I can't imagine that John and Dee are not going to want to. It was great for them. They came on for a short bit. They walked around their store. Everyone's jaw dropped. I realized just how fucking great I have it here. I had 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. We had Shark Eyes and Ronnie show up with a big old fucking bullhorn. So I gotta look at the dates. I can't do it, and the reason why I do it in October is YouTube doesn't pay to the end of November for October, so I have to get all the money in, and you can't go too late. They have to pick everything up. The Toys for Tots, the Marines, pick them up early. So now it's about picking a date and then reaching out to different people. You guys all know who you are. All right. Let's be honest. You guys know who you are. You know who I'm going to ask for the most part. Okay. But now there's even more people that are doing streams, and there's some people that really aren't doing it anymore. So, to be honest, Woody and Shane, I will probably be asking if you want to do a Smoking Joe's on here. It's just going to have to be a non-smoking Joe's. But it is time to start putting that together, because I got to say, doing a 36-hour stream, you have to mentally start getting ready. And you guys have to start saving your money so you can throw it, because I have to go back. Matthew, do you remember what the total was last year? I have to go back and look. I know I have it written down somewhere. As a matter of fact, I take that back. You know what? I have the fucking receipt of all the toys that we bought. So we raised $3,027 last year. Let's see. There's the receipt right there. So we have to raise more than 3,000 this year. Channel's fucking grown. And again, we're going to do the exact same thing. I forgot that I had it sitting right here. Totally forgot that I had it sitting right here. I don't know what to do with the receipt. I can't get rid of it. I mean, never again. Well, I can't say never again. I don't believe I'm ever going to spend $3,000 at a toy store again in one sitting until I go in and decide to buy a fucking Defiant. That will be it. No. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I thought it was right over 3,000. It was 3,025. And again, every single one of you, going back to that streamathon, and I think we're going to call it Punkathon this year, because you guys have asked. Like, you guys have said you need to call it Punkathon, not the what was it Streamathon last year or Punkorama? No, Punkorama can't be used because Punkorama is actually from NoFX, their little thing. I don't know. Either way, it's the same fucking thing, same cause. I don't need my fucking name attached to it. I'm just the idiot that's willing to sit here for as long as I have, and I need help, as you guys all know. No, and Woody, like again, you have been awesome. All of you guys were, so I'm definitely looking. And Darren says I'll plan to hang out and be your life support on Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon. Well, again, that's all the things I have to start filling in gaps. To be honest, the biggest gap is from noon to 5 when some of you are work and not really taking the day off. Although I think some of you actually did so. But yeah, we're gonna again. I want to keep it going. And now I have a better idea. That stream went so much smoother. Well, shall I say the 4 streams? The 4 streams went so much smoother than I could have ever expected. You know, I thought there'd be so many hiccups along the way, but it wasn't, man. Like so many, like everyone was like respectful. Like, okay, my time is up. And I was like, dude, I'm not kicking anyone off. But everyone was like so respectful, and man, it was a fucking blast. And I won't be doing a Monday show, right, Matthew? Right? No Monday show. Because I said, hey, what the hell? I can do a Monday show, right? Shit, I'm gonna sleep all day Sunday, go to work, right? That was dumb. There will not be a Monday show after the streamathon. I can tell you that much right now. Because that really does take a lot out of you. But anyway. And Lone Dragon said, yes, this is a big blast when you cross the streams. I don't know. Not much, Tony. Not much. There hasn't been any big explosions. I think I was more heated. I mean, I was clearly more heated up with in the beginning when I talked about the whole HasLab thing and what people are talking about. But anyway, so I mean, again, I think most of you can figure out who I'm going to be asking to come on and do your shows or help participate in the shows. It won't be all the same people this year for sure. There will be some new people along the way. But I need help. There's no way I'm not young anymore. As you approach, I'll even be closer to 50 then. You definitely need that help. And I think that we can probably, Ed, just so you know, I think we can kind of plan on that 6 a.m., that 6 a.m. to 9. You and Oz taking that over as I get a little bit of sleep. Yeah, I know. Yeah, missing another Monday, lazy mofo. No, you even fucking said to me when I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. You're like, I told you that. Usually I'll take that from you, Matthew, but you were the one that was like, I told you should not have done the fucking show after that. Woody says you definitely asked Jerkin Gaines for the kids punk. Are you saying I definitely should ask? I got to go through, and again, I mean, when they popped on last year, that was Tony. Were you the one that kind of reached out? I don't remember exactly how that went. I don't exactly remember how that went. But they popped on right before the clubhouse, and they were on for quite some time. But I definitely want listen, I remember who was sending the super chats and stuff. And again, if you sent $1 or you sent $500, I remember, and it means a lot because if you can only send $1, awesome, because it goes to the kids. It's, you know, there's, I'll say it again. As a kid, I never had to go without. My kids never had to go without, but I know that there are kids that do. And Woody will tell you, you know what? I went without, and he loved fucking just promoting it and pushing it. And you guys saw the super chats that that Woody sent. Woody was amazing. And that's why I tell you. That's why I say, like, if Woody is at a fucking convention and you have the money, Woody should not have to pay for a goddamn fucking dinner. Right? You sit down for dinner, and if Woody is there, you see all the super chats he throws. All right. He supports people so much. People should be sitting there and being like, you know what? This is covered. As long as you can afford it. Right. Frankie jumping in here saying, that's awesome. Punk, congratulations, my guy. I'll most definitely try and catch that stream. Is it members? No. It is a 36-hour. It is a 36-hour live stream. I start at noon on Friday, and I'm technically noon to midnight Saturday. But I think I was I still on to about 2 a.m., I think? Because by that time you're wrapped up, the clubhouse is going, and you just relax. Like you've made it, you've done it. The adrenaline is gone, and I think you guys went to about 4 a.m. Ed, you'd remember better than I would because I was asleep. I was a fucking sleep. But yeah, again, anything that I make, like from any of the videos, like on my channel, anything my YouTube channel makes from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it all goes to Toys for Tots. But again, I also say, hey, if you want all the money to go directly to the kids, we do it through PayPal. Not everyone is willing to do that because, hey, I could easily just, I guess, screw people. But I think, as I mentioned, I have so much more to lose by being a prick like that than gaining anything. Gun Bunny says, I'm free during the day if you need someone to eat up an hour or two. No, and that's the type of stuff that I'll be looking for. And I'm not kidding, Roman. If you guys know, Roman doesn't really seem to make an appearance nearly as much as he used to. Which is good and bad. Because usually when he's making an appearance and he heard me, he's like, you son of a bitch. Right, Roman? Well, he just looked at me with angry eyes. Like, can you finish that? We need to go to bed. And if you're new to the channel, Roman is my dog. Sometimes he's sitting right there. Of course, right now he's not. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come say hi so we can wrap it up. I know no one's seen Roman. Come up here. Come up. Come on. Come up here. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Look, they haven't seen you in a while. You've been really good. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, guys. Like I said, the Punkathon stream, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to call it yet. We'll kind of throw it all together. I'll figure it out. I got to talk to Oz. He did the stuff last year. See if he's going to do it, if he'll do it again for me, the designs and everything. Bearded McBeard said it's been ever since he got sprayed. You know what? They are building apartments behind us, so hopefully there will be less skunks, if not no fucking skunks. I reject Punkapalooza because I do not like Lollapalooza. I actually think it sounds good, but I do not like Lollapalooza. Ooh, Kendall got sprayed by a skunk last week. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys all for joining me. Tune in tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Circle of Jerks. I don't know. There's a topic, but I was doing this, so I wasn't able to pay attention to it. Tune in then. Me, Baldy Fox Reviews, Tony's Figs, although he might be working, Terry, and Toy Optics. After that, you're gonna jump in. You're gonna watch Ed and Travis Not Fucking Moody, and at 10 p.m. you're gonna watch Pop Blender and Matthew Matson. But I am out of here. Thank you very much. I gotta figure out how to leave. Right. Take care.